back and forth for a minute.
People
Surgery
of Earth, we are back. We are live.
Yo, what's up?
It's podcast night.
What's up, baby?
And we had such a good time last week that we decided we're going to run it back with Freebird Rules, the three-man booth. Mikey's back in the house for another edition of On the Money podcast here.
What up? What up?
In the On the Money Sports Lounge, where we do it each and every Wednesday night live in the living color. So wherever you are right now, kick back, relax, grab yourself a cold beverage, maybe a hot cup of coffee, and take a break from the mainstream media, sports talk, and analysts, and listen to a breakdown from us, from the Forum family members, the mega powers of podcasting, coming to you from the epicenter of Nostalgia Mania and all that good stuff. Alongside me, Oscar Money, Mike D, geared up in the Giants gear.
You already know, man. Every week, I like to represent.
Good to have you back this week, man. That was nice.
Likewise. I love being here, man. When I can be here, I would love to be here when I can. So I take advantage when I can. You know what I mean?
Means you must be close by tomorrow.
Hell yeah, I'm in Bridgeton. I am in Bridgeton tomorrow. We have been local lately. That is the goal. Stay local. Stay local.
Word. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back. We got OTA talks. We've got, players in some pads and some helmets. Offensive linemen aren't all the way padded up, so they can't, hit people the way that they normally would. So offensive linemen are out there taking it easy. We want them to take it easy because it's still early on. Training camp.
No injuries.
This is the time of year where all of a sudden all the news that comes out from training camp is going to get put under the microscope. It's going to get dissected, broken down. Depth charts are going to start to shape before our very
Calvin
eyes.
Austin, wide receiver number 2.
Remember when I was telling you guys about
Still
him
Roman Wilson
back? That kid can't stay healthy. It feels like Roman.
I mean, it's only
You got to
going
earn
to be
his
second
way,
year,
bro.
right?
You got to earn his way.
He was a rookie last year.
Calvin Austin, we're talking about him. This is his third year.
All it takes is Aaron to like you. That's all it takes.
No, Calvin Austin been in the league for a minute, right?
This is like year 3 for him, I believe.
Yeah, this is
Really?
22.
Are we thinking of this? Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Tavon.
Tavon Austin.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Tavon.
Okay.
That's my bad.
What up, Chris?
Nah,
what
this
up,
is his fourth year.
Chris,
He was a part of the
what
Kenny
up?
Pickett draft.
Double Chris Rule. Yo, you've been with the back-to-back cameo. Yeah, you already know, bro.
Back-to-back cameos, bro.
Yo, you and Serge getting it in the chat. I see.
I'm
That's fucking
sure
great.
you all not complaining about your sports helmets like Mr. Rogers is complaining. He said he had the same. Yeah. He's like, I've been wearing the same helmet my whole career, and now I can't.
Oh, no.
He's like, go figure. He goes, but it's all right. I'll get used to it.
Oh, boy. I can't wait.
I did like his answer yesterday when they said, can you compare the two franchises? He goes, I'm not here to take shots at my former franchise. I'll let you guys do that.
Professional.
I was like, oh, this isn't the guy I know.
Did you ever know him at all?
Aaron.
Oh, please give it time.
I don't know.
Simmer.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten comfortable yet. That's all. He's in a new house. He hasn't even taken his shoes off yet.
Freshly
Wait
married.
until this guy takes his shoes. Exactly.
Why are you mad?
I think
I'm not
Oscar
mad.
is just growing
I'm not-
comfortable
I love
with the idea.
I'm not mad. You were the one who said you guys are going to have a losing season. It reeked of a losing season. And
It did. And it all reversed after he signed. So
we told you it was coming.
I still say it's a 9-10 win team.
Nah, I say 11-12 now.
But we do know
11 is probably the ceiling, I think, personally.
We do know one thing. We made the bet.
Oh, the beard bet, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Which bet is that?
I told him, he says 12 wins. I said, if the Steelers win 12 games, I will shave my beard.
They win 12 games?
Yeah.
Knicks and their fans are living in misery. I'm happy. Of course you are. Of course you are. I live in an unknown world.
And
when
it
comes
has
to
begun.
right now. I really do. I
Wait
live
until
in
you
a
find this
complete
new mushroom dealer
unknown,
first.
man. A complete unknown. I don't know what's going on, man. I have no idea what's going on at this point.
You don't know what's going on with the Knicks?
With the Knicks, I don't. I really don't, man. As a fan, from an optics point of view, it looks like they have no plan. It looks like James Dolan has completely taken the reins of this thing, and nobody's saying anything to us or the media or anything like that. So everything's just speculation. Everything you see besides everything that's being reported with us getting denied, that's fact. We keep getting denied coaches. Like teams are just literally not either picking up the phone completely.
It's a matter of time before the Knicks logo is the Will Smith meme. Why don't nobody want me, man?
Being left on the red. Well, I mean, think about it.
It's not even about nobody wanting them because they were asking to see coaches who are under contract and teams are telling them no.
I just read this question correctly. What's wrong with the Knicks this week?
Yeah, that's great.
We're picking up where we left off, bro. We're chapter 2, Freebirds Part 2, the reunion.
The book
until Leon Rose or James Dolan comes out and literally gives us some sort of answers. All we're gonna keep doing is coming off of speculation and reports of us not being able to talk to coaches that are currently under contract, which is weird. Now, Evan Roberts, who is on WFA The Fan, he is saying, or he tried to spin the optic narrative here that we all see and say that the Knicks made a list of coaches that they wanted and that the guys who are under contract are on the top of this list, which is why they're going after these particular guys first. So they don't look at it as the Knicks don't have a plan, that this is their plan. So in my head, I'm like, so their plan is just to get shot down every other day because nobody in the league likes James Dolan when it comes to NBA owners.
The Mavericks didn't deny access to Jason Kidd yet?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Everybody they have reached out to.
Oh, they already shut that down?
Everybody.
Houston shut it down. Dallas.
Everybody.
They got turned down 4 times.
Anybody
Brett Brown's available.
Brett Brown.
Is he like not under contract?
He's with the Spurs as an assistant, I think.
Oh yeah. He was relieved of his duties in
no.
Philadelphia.
He
went
like
back
12th, probably 15th on the list. Whatever list that Evan Roberts knows about that nobody else does.
Bro,
Brett
Jay Wright
be
came out and said, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to the Knicks right now.
Cats.
They're under contract or in college right now. Like, it's weird.
They did a good job of making that job undesirable to people by firing Thibodeau, and
who got the team,
and that tells you a lot about ownership because I think Leon Rose has a lot of ties in the NBA and he has a lot of friends, and people who look at this roster isn't going to be like, well, I can't do nothing with this roster. We have a good roster. We have a good starting 5.
They kind of took the head off the snake, though.
No, the coach, which is why I said last week this is a mistake, in my opinion. People are saying that. Even again, Evan Roberts is saying that the Knicks hit their ceiling with Tom Thibodeau, and I'm like, how is a man who got here in 2020? The Knicks were a disaster, okay, and he's done nothing but progress them as a team. Even though he doesn't develop the young guys, quote unquote, we still have gotten farther every single year with him as a coach. We've won 3 50-win seasons and our first back-to-back 50-50 win season since the 90s with him. The last 2 years have been nothing but progression. Second round last year, ECF this year. I mean, there's only one more step you can take after that. That's not hitting your ceiling. You hit your ceiling when you do that multiple years in a row, 2-3 years in a row. If we wouldn't make it out of the second round this year, I'd agree with this decision. But we went to the ECF, bro. We were there. We win game 1, and we're probably not even having this discussion, honestly.
Yeah.
Really
locked into the game right now on your tablet.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with Evan Roberts' narrative on how the Knicks are just going down their list of guys that they want, and if they get lucky enough to do a dart throw at these guys who are on the contract to talk to somebody, I guess that's the plan. But to me, I don't know what the fuck the plan is.
But like you said, it's like they don't have a plan because they're going after.
It's what it looks like. It just
jobs that they enjoy.
From the outside looking in. From again, and like I said last week on the pod, I don't know a lot about basketball and the staffs and coaches and stuff like that. So to me, this doesn't look normal. You don't go out and talk to guys who are under contract after 4 days after you're trounced from the ECF. And you fire your coach, and I don't know.
Didn't Budenholzer already get fired?
He got fired.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's a carousel of coaches that get fired. They get recycled through the league. They get jobs in other spots. Phoenix is going to end up with a new coach. Like, it's coaches. I don't know how many per year the average is.
Doc Rivers? You call the Bucks about Doc Rivers?
Doc Rivers to New York. At the end of the day, a lot of these guys are still getting paid by the other organizations because
and some just don't want to jump into it.
Based off of their contracts, they have to keep paying these guys, even if they fired them, 3 or 4 seasons ago, depending on what the terms of those contracts
Remember when
were.
the NFL sent a memo out to all the owners showing all the money that they were blowing by keep on firing because the coaches' contracts were guaranteed and they had to keep paying.
Yeah.
And it was like somewhere around like $40-some million.
They're still on the payroll.
That's crazy.
After the fact. They can get hired somewhere else and still be it's like, with the Mets with Bobby Bonilla. It's like you're still getting a check from this company, from this organization based
it's
on
like
the
Russell
terms
Wilson
of the
last
contract.
year when he got cut from Denver, they still owed him $39 million.
Yeah.
And he grabbed $1 million from Pittsburgh, and he still ended up getting $40 million for that year.
It's the most undesirable coaching job in professional sports, but at the same time, it's like at least the guys are still getting paid after the fact. It's just a carousel.
What, the Knicks are the most undesirable coaching
No,
job?
being a head coach in the NBA itself is the most undesirable head coaching job out there, based on the fact that you are automatically in that contract is saying, I am going to be the scapegoat for this basketball team's problems, especially based on the faces that are with the organization. If we're talking about all the coaches that were getting let go of with the teams that, LeBron-led teams, KD-led teams, like, just a who's who of guys that would come and go. Denver more recently.
I agree with what you're saying, but on the flip side to that, a guy like Tom Thibodeau, for instance, which is a perfect example, who just got an extension that was supposed to kick in this year, owed $30 million, who now doesn't have a job, can sit at home getting paid, sitting $10 million for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to coach now for the next 3 years and get paid for it.
He could take a job and then get paid
even
by
more
someone else. You know what I mean? And take a job elsewhere because of the fact that, like, people saw what this team was able to do. You know what I mean? What up, Magoo? And they saw the run that they were able to. And Thibodeau, I feel like, is the type of coach that's always going to be able to get himself a job because he's always been able to do that. He did it with Chicago. He did it with Minnesota, New York. He was not the issue. He was ripped from the.
I'm not going to say he wasn't the issue because some of his methods were a part of the problem, but he wasn't the end all be all problem.
The bigger problems are still in New York.
Yes.
And this falls under the umbrella.
The biggest problem is getting paid the most this year and the next 3 years, so as long as he's with us.
This falls under the umbrella of not wanting to go to New York and deal with that and work in New York because everything that it comes with. And
he's from New York. He's from the area or from New Jersey. He's supposed to know how it is. This is when he puts on that fake ass accent, wants to talk like he's from
Cat
here.
with the New York accent, bro. Cat with the New York accent.
So all my people to Washington Heights, New York. Bro, you're from Jersey,
it's
bro.
Like Jenny from the block.
Get out of here, bro.
When Jennifer Lopez was talking
from all my Dominicanos in Washington Heights. Like, you're not even from Washington Heights, bro. You're from North Jersey. Get out of here.
What about the east side? And Mario, we blowing smoke while we G-ride.
Yeah,
I remember when Jennifer Lopez was in front of that house, she was trying to tell that old man, it's like, I grew up here. The old guy's just staring at her, just like, what the fuck? Like, what's that mean to me? Like, get the fuck away from my house. Like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, nobody knows you out here.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was loving it being at Yankee Stadium and the Yankees and Mets fans cheering for him and shit. Like, he's embracing it. For $50 million a year. I would.
He's got no choice. He's better.
Every job Thibs has been fired from the following season. The teams have had losing seasons.
Oh boy, that's different.
Writings on the wall.
That right there, just well, you know why too? Because we touched upon that last week when we mentioned the Knicks. They're going to hire a head coach that is going to make everything about Cat.
You're making me thirsty. This is making me thirsty.
They're going to build it all around Cat. More Cat. Cat.
You're not going to build it around Cat.
They are, bro. The next head coach is going to be a numbers geek.
That's not his team to build it around. It's not his team.
I'm telling you, the wrong person is going to take this job, and that's what's going to happen, bro. No. The things that made this group special, all of a sudden, it might look a little wonky.
I mean, what made this group special is Jalen Brunson and
Josh
Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. That's what made the group special. The Villanova boys.
Well,
it wasn't just Tibbs.
They're going to build it around.
Before them, Tibbs was just barely getting by with Julius Randle and the crew and a motley crew of guys.
Cat might not even be here. Do you think that they are able to?
Is that a possibility?
It's only about matching contracts or people who want to take that contract on. So you're either trading him for a guy who has a very similar contract I'll allow Giannis. I'll allow Kevin Durant. Which
you guys are gonna pursue Kevin Durant, bro.
Well, apparently he wants to go to the Spurs. And that was reported by Shams. So
Spurs.
We'll see. But there's a lot of he said, she said right now when it comes to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but Kevin Durant and the Knicks have been linked together for a long, long time. This would be the time to pull the trigger on a KD type. It's a splash
KD
move.
didn't want to be here 6 years ago, and we don't want him here now, bro. Getting KD would be a horrible.
KD wanted to go to New York. Y'all just didn't want to give him all that guaranteed money.
He said it wouldn't be. He said playing for the Knicks isn't cool. He literally said that. He said nobody wants. He said nobody wants to play for the Knicks. Why would I want to go there? Go look it up, bro. He said that. He said nobody wants to play for the Knicks. Why would I go there?
That is how you burn a bridge at the meeting, my friends. That's check, please.
I mean,
check, please.
Go yourself.
Check,
from all my New Yorkers, go yourself.
Split checks.
Yeah, like, nah, I don't want KD, bro. And not only that, it's being reported that whoever he goes to, he wants a 2-year extension. The guy's 38 years old. You're not LeBron.
More injury,
and F him too.
More injury prone now than he has been really ever.
Dude, you've tore your Achilles since you were supposed to. Man, get out of here.
Yeah, it's been brutal.
Get out of here, dude.
By the way, there's a basketball game on tonight. Speaking of basketball.
What's basketball?
NBA Finals, Game 3. We got OKC taking on the Indiana Pacers. Game 3 in Indiana.
What time does it start?
It's starting now, so I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna be keeping tabs of it back here.
No Aaron Judge in the home run derby this year. That should be interesting.
Aaron Judge will not participate in the 2025 home run derby this year. I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
I don't even watch that shit anymore anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about the home run derby.
We'll have a home run derby in the World Series. But I won't be locked in. Excuse me.
Well,
home run derby is more fun than the game.
We tuned into it last year. No, it is. Teoscar Hernandez won. But that's the only part of it that I've watched in a long time was the home run derby. And last year it was Teoscar. Bobby Witt went a little bit the distance, but I'm not really worried about that. That's going to be a shitty week because there's going to be no baseball to bet on that week since it's the All-Star break.
That's right.
And there's no other sports going on whatsoever. So
how does that work for fantasy again? Do we get 2 weeks worth?
It'll be an extension. What's going to happen? Like your week is going to be cut in half, but it'll end up being one of those things where, like the beginning of the season, it'll be like a 10-day period compared to the 7-day period.
I bet, bro.
So, but either way, it's just going to be a shitty week. It's going to be a shitty week of production. It's
going to be a boring week of
It might life. Be a good opportunity for the Dynasty League to get some trades going, potentially. That's really
is that what that week is for?
Maybe everybody comes to their senses when there's nothing to study or parlay. Like you gotta make an honest.
Maybe we can just keep throwing second and third round picks at Alex so he gives us his whole roster.
I like his trade earlier, man. I don't mind that at all. I'm not a Christian Kirk guy, and to get a 2 and a 3 for Christian Kirk these days, chacho.
Wait,
hey, man,
what?
More power to you.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy doesn't know.
You didn't see it?
Nah, I've been busy at work all day. Let me.
I mean, the only person he would have got that off it was Nick. So.
Oh, thank you, Zach Littell, for hitting your strikeout prop. Appreciate you, buddy. It was looking
him
shaky
and your brother-in-law did a trade.
Nick and Alex made a trade in the league.
Nick sent them the 2 and the 3 for next year, right? Both for next year, I think.
The Knicks owed it to Thibs to give him one more crack at the chip.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
With the much improved bench, they took that away from him. That's part of why nobody wants the job right now.
I think there's going to be good players out there this year for bench stuff, and I think we have the funds to allocate to sign a good bench.
And maybe that could be
That's
part of it.
All we need is role players, bro. We need a Robert Horry. You know what I mean? Like we need that.
And maybe that could be part of it of potentially securing the right head coach is maybe getting the players first, right? You know what I mean? Like, how do they go about this building process?
They said that, they said that on the radio today because Tiki Barber was like, wouldn't you want the coach first to see what kind of players he wants? He was like, and Evan was like, well, maybe you can just build the roster first and just pick a coach that just says, I can work with this.
That's interesting.
It's not a full rebuild.
Yeah,
but
that's not what it is.
It's just a weird thing
to me, when you fire a coach at this point, like Tom Thibodeau, I don't think there is a door or a window to trade Cat at this point. I don't know why you would, unless you get the coach first and they come up with an idea where that includes Cat and somebody else as far as the trade goes. But
I think shit wasn't going right, and they kind of panicked, and then a lot of shit came out.
Supposedly Cat and Bridges. That's the rumor that Cat and Bridges said they couldn't play with Tibbs.
Patton Bridges.
That's crazy. To me, that's crazy.
So that's
two new guys.
Judas.
Mr. New Yorker himself.
Two Judases.
Come over here and fucking ruin things.
The little click.
New York.
It's horrible, man. It's horrible, man.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
And again, it's all just rumor, innuendo, all that ish, man. Like, we don't know. Nobody's really stepping to the mic. Nobody from the front office is stepping to the mic and talking to us.
It's all happening.
I'm from
in the
New
shadows.
York. I get the bagel with cream cheese.
Yeah.
Just dirtball moves from the shadows. Who wants to join
You
in
know
on what's
what?
going on
Speaking
right
of
now?
from the shadows, you know what's weird about what's going on right now? There's a lot of stuff being leaked, right? All these, again, rumors, stuff like that.
Yes.
For the last 2 years, you haven't heard about a lot about what the Knicks have been doing. When the Knicks made these trades over the summer, nobody knew about that shit.
That is
When we signed Jalen Brunson, there was speculation, but it wasn't crazy reported like stuff is being reported now. So
It's being reported like crazy.
it is,
Matter of
man.
fact, I
Everything's being
screenshot.
leaked out. Everything's being reported, and I feel like the lid has just come off this
26 to
organization.
27 for Kirk is different. Only word I can use. Bro, he got a 2027 second and a 2026
I just
third.
feel like I get it,
Or,
man. It's
Christian Kirk, what's he ever done? I know some of you, some among us were more, he was more in favor with some. We all have our summertime
Listen
picks.
to this.
We're going to have more summertime picks, as we get closer to draft season.
This was like the top comic that Grok put together. Grok is the AI that finds all the correct answers on Twitter.
That's right.
The New York Knicks are navigating a turbulent coaching search following the dismissal of Tom Thibodeau, who led the team to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years.
25.
Before being eliminated by the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks have sought to interview several high-profile NBA coaches, including Jason Kidd, Chris Finch, Ime Udoka, and Quinn Snyder, but have encountered rejections from all. This series of denials has ignited discussions about the Knicks' strategic planning for leadership transitions. Critics argue that the team might need to consider alternative candidates like unemployed coaches or even revisit the possibility of rehiring Thibodeau. The situation underscores
they said that this
ongoing
morning.
debates
That's from
about
this
the
morning.
management style and decision-making process under owner James Dolan, especially as the team looks to maintain its competitive edge in the league.
Bro.
This story is a summary of posts on X and may evolve over time. Grok can make mistakes and verify its outputs.
Hey, Dibs, how you been,
That was
man?
the footnote.
Hope everything's good. Listen, you interested in this job opportunity?
Yeah, they were having so much fun with that this morning. They said that shit this morning. I was dying. Please don't. I was like, that'd be so embarrassing.
How much time do you
So
give yourself
embarrassing.
before making that phone call? Like, you really got to have some balls to.
And then you got to give him a new contract on top of the $30 million you already owe.
You're already, we already owe you. You are on our payroll. However, we have this job opportunity. It's the one you just had.
Yo,
Do you want?
it's going to be like that scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker's dressed up as a nerd. He's like, hi.
Takes the
Remember
mask off.
that scene when he just looked and
Yeah.
goes, hi.
Two-Face is a total idiot because if you couldn't tell that's Joker under that mask, like, bro,
Remember when he was like this?
no offense, but there's a lot of bad things happen to you partly because you just were too naive.
Rachel! Rachel!
That was funny.
Oh man.
Yo,
Yeah,
but that scene
that's-
is awesome. He goes, do you really think that I would think of something like that?
This the dog, I'm just
I'm
a
like a
dog
dog- yeah,
chasing
yeah.
cars. I wouldn't know what to do
if I caught
actually
one?
got one. Yeah, that was the verbiage right there. If you're just tuning in,
I'm
like
an
I
agent
said,
of
kick
chaos.
back, relax.
Are you an agent of chaos? And
Like-
that's what the Knicks are. Knicks front.
They're an agent of chaos,
They
bro.
are agents of chaos right now. That front office.
They absolutely are, bro.
Who
is
just when
pulling
I was
the
feeling good about
strings?
them,
Well, this is a
Finally
high
came around
that
as
they
a
haven't
Knicks
had
fan.
for 24, 25 years. This is
I mean,
this is it.
That's my whole life. I'm 36 years old, or at least
Yeah.
gonna be 36 in October. I'm 35. I mean, 25 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention to the Knicks as a kid, unfortunately. I was just all into baseball.
Right. Didn't appreciate
And
it.
then
Yet.
by the time I started watching
You
basketball,
avoided a lot of heartbreak, though. You avoided a lot of heartbreak.
I did, but
avoided a lot of shit with that team.
My dad said
You know?
this is just dredging up bad memories. You know, he feels like this is just demons that are just
Gotta let it out,
coming
man.
back up, and you know, this is crazy, man. Like, I don't know, man.
You know, at this point, one of the top teams in the East potentially taking themselves out of the picture by themselves until they.
Listen, man. As long as the roster's still intact, I think we could still be a top team in the East, especially with no Jason Tatum and what Boston does this summer. You know, they're rumors to kind of start splitting up the pieces of that team because they don't want to keep paying everybody. So, damn.
One in the pool.
Chris brings up who's the worst owner, Dolan or Woody Johnson?
Both in New York too.
Oh man,
I love it. Gotta love it.
It might be Dolan, bro. Honestly, a lot of people hate Woody too, but
remember when Dolan was throwing people out for?
I mean, dude, there's still a lawsuit. Oakley still has a lawsuit.
That was
against
crazy.
The Knicks and Dolan. Yeah.
The Spike Lee thing was crazy.
Yes.
You know, him of all people, that was just, I think, uncalled for.
He was like, I've never walked through the front door.
Like, Spike Lee, bro. Nobody cares about that team more than that man. You know? Maybe this guy right here next to me and his father, but that's it. Like, to do that, it's just an agent of chaos, bro.
The Knicks' immediate plan must have been to piss me off, and it worked.
Yeah, that's what it feels
like. That
was
the short-term plan.
Leave me in full disarray, full confusion.
Short-term plan was to piss you guys off. Long-term plan, don't have one. We'll get back to you on that. Not totally
Rain
sure.
check.
There's a good chance that we get Mikey back on the podcast for a third pod before the Knicks end up getting a head coach.
Brandon Nemo again.
Yes.
Brandon Nemo with another bomb?
Are you serious?
That. Oh, that's right. You guys are against each
I
other.
walked into this basement. My team was a full 3 and 28, I think, when I walked in here. I don't know. I cannot believe my team today, dude. They're just completely letting me down.
Finding Nemo with a big week, getting yourself back into the mix as we have reached.
Crazy.
We're basically at the halfway point of the fantasy.
I see what Heather did
season.
Sunday. Picked up all these pitchers that started that day and just threw them in the lineup.
Yeah, she was trying to.
And that's what
they
won
bumped
the game.
up her EM. No, they bumped up her ERA. They probably gave her strikeouts, but I know those guys had.
I had 3 pitchers get quality starts, but no wins. That hurt me.
Her team started hitting too.
Like I think that's what saved her too.
And that's what
Ryan Withers. She picked up Ryan Withers, and he went on the 60-day IL. He's not coming back probably this season.
Yeah. And
she picked up Reed Nelson, and he had a bad day. I think
that's the one you wanted. That would have been your bad day.
Yeah. When I seen that, I was like, "Oh wow, she saved me from 2 bad guys."
You dodged one bullet, but then a full clip came your way still.
Yeah.
Around the corner, it was just waiting for you.
Oh my gosh, Ralphus.
We got some old school WCW going on in the background right now. It's not necessarily a watch along. We're gonna get to the watch alongs.
It's a terrible
shortly.
episode. It's the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club.
Yeah, maybe in the dog days of summer. We're gonna double down and we'll take it a step further, and we're going back to 1993. I feel like when we start working on our watch alongs, we're gonna go into the trenches and we're gonna build this thing up. We're not gonna go to your favorites. We're gonna go to some of the worst possible content, and we're gonna make it great, because sometimes on this podcast, especially during the summer, at this time of year where we're revved up, we're ready to go for football, we're going to make everything sound great. We're pumped up.
It's happening. I've been listening to some fantasy shows, just kind of, keeping my ears to the streets, as they say.
It looks like Alexi's watching. So, Alexi, can you comment on your draft today? Your trade?
I like the trade,
I'm sorry, not draft, your trade.
Yeah.
I
know you were super excited, Alex.
It was the perfect day for the podcast. Because I actually
Jackson Job done for the season.
Yeah, Tommy John's.
Oh yeah, Tommy John. Yeah,
Tommy John's for Jackson Job. He's done.
Oh, he's on your team, huh? Huh? You don't like that?
He's done, unfortunately.
I actually got one of my closers back today, so that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Guy from the Royals. Probably won't have to close tonight.
He's getting his ass beat right now.
Yeah, I was about to say he's
it's a 5-0 Yankees, so
don't need him for tonight or tomorrow.
They're just a weird. Oh, immediately drops Jackson Job live on the podcast from his team. No IL spot, no conversation. Nothing to talk about. This ain't Dynasty. This is redraft.
So I did with Corbin Burns, my man. So I get it.
For the year.
I get it.
And it's
I was
currently
having a stellar year and must have Tommy John.
With 2 minutes left.
Yankees are sweeping the Red Sox this weekend, and Stanton will be in the lineup. Wepa! Yeah, let's go.
Stanton looked great in his rehab assignment yesterday. He got like 3 RBIs, I think. He's hitting the ball. It looks good. They're going to slot him into that 5th spot, potentially, like behind Goldschmidt or Jazz. And Yankee lineup is going to be even more potent with him in it as long as he stays healthy. The tennis elbow situation is good. It's going to be great to have him back. Couldn't have come at a better time as we take on the Red Sox, who they got the best of us this past weekend, which is annoying. They won 2 out of 3. But, they're also – Red Sox are inconsistent. Might not be a team that you have to worry about in the long term. However, it's just annoying to lose to your division team because we were doing that last year too when we went to the World Series. Like, for some reason, we couldn't, get the best of the Red Sox or the Rays. And hopefully this year, let's get a couple more wins within our division, guys. Come on. We can run away with this division. Double digits.
As long as we start whooping ass in the division, we can definitely run away with it. Because we're already in the lead and we're not playing against
like 4.5 games lead right now, but it could be 10. Like
it should be. Not that it even could be. That it freaking should be. We shouldn't be losing to Baltimore. We shouldn't be losing to Boston. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't.
We should get swept by the Pirates.
Like, look,
that's
so what that we're up 5-0 right now on the Royals. So what that we beat them 10-2 yesterday. Okay, we always make the Kansas City Royals eat dirt. All right, the little old Royals, little engine that could. Okay, the Royals are a little spunky, cool story. This year they're not. They don't have that same energy. They don't have that same mojo. So beating the Royals does not impress me. What impresses me is
beating the Twins.
For Aaron Judge to be batting 400 when it matters most, and that's in October. Batting 400 right now is great, bro. I'm happy for you. I love you, but do it in October.
I hope he breaks all types of records, but yes.
I'm not impressed by beating up the Royals on a chill Wednesday night, okay? Royals lose every night, bro. I'm not impressed. They're a 50-50 team. We don't have to be great to beat a team like that. We got to be great to beat a team like the Dodgers.
Which is crazy because I had high hopes for the Royals.
Well, I mean, when you look at they went out.
They have a good lineup, and they have good pitching.
They won a playoff series last year against the Baltimore
But
Orioles.
Hey, Cole Reagan's went on the IL today, so that should hurt them.
We'll see. I think the bats have been hurting them more than anything. Pitching is trying to hold it together, but the Royals just don't generate runs. Like right now, we got Clark Schmidt out there. I love Clark Schmidt, but he's susceptible to, getting hit. He throws meatballs sometimes, and the fact that right now we're this deep into the game and they haven't scored yet,
I regret drafting Bobby Witt over Ellie De La Cruz at this point. And somehow it says that Witt is hitting 314, but I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Doesn't feel like it. He's not hitting bombs, but he's getting on base type. He's getting you doubles and shit. But
I guess
you don't always see that.
Yeah, I got the Brandon Emo once a month game.
Like I said, I walked into this basement and as a team, as a unit, we were hitting 3 for like 30 or 3 for 28, something like that. I don't know.
You see what photo I dug up? I was cleaning up.
Great. That's great. Love that.
Remember that one, Elon?
Yeah, that was the whole controversy of who was putting the 49ers tank top on the Rocky statue a couple years back. I remember that. I can see a certain image and reflect back to that moment in time, and that was one of the big stories of the time with Drewski. I'm telling you, man.
We did the big reveal on the podcast that Wednesday
goes
night.
From second base to the dugout.
Yeah, that's the story of that's what they do, bro.
I guess that's what's happening.
Bobby Witt gets on base, and then there's nobody there that can really move him over. Like Vinny P sometimes, Salvi sometimes, but as a pitcher, like a quality pitcher can just mow down the Kansas City Royals lineup. Once you get past Witt, there's like nothing to worry about. Like you can just check down and get your pitches.
You know what? That must be the story for like half the guys that I have on my team, if not all of them, dude. When you look at my team, bro,
there's nothing to worry about on your team,
dude. When you look, there's batting averages. They all look great, but I have no RBIs. I get no runs, bro. I get none of that stuff. No stolen bases. None of that shit, bro. I don't get none of that shit.
Do we have to change the category?
I don't know. I don't know. I just hit a draft
on base percentage.
I just hit a draft guys who get those stats. I guess that's all.
In any categories,
dude. None in the batting. None.
Oh,
I might get I might get batting average sometimes, but pitching is what's been holding me down. And now since all my pitchers got hurt last 2 weeks, I just haven't been getting any categories,
Well, look,
bro.
You are the 7th seed, no matter what anybody says. You're the 7th seed. You're 57.
I'm losing to the 11th
4.
seed. Okay,
he's putting a beat down.
I was just beating. After I told him in the chat, I was beating Oscar.
Oh no, it's
5-2
5-5, bro.
5-5.
It's 5-5.
I was up 9-2.
Yeah,
So
you guys are rallying, bro. They heard you.
they're gonna get.
It's for coach.
Everybody's getting cocotazos when I get home.
We know the Knicks are letting you down, but we're not gonna let you down too.
Come on,
Eagle,
middle finger, eagle sign.
Eagle middle. Yeah, that's the
Middle
name of your
finger,
team.
eagle
That's been the name of your team for 2 years.
That's right. Okay, Mikey's
Fuck
fancy
the
baseball
birds.
team
That's your team. Fuck the birds.
Fuck them birds. Fuck them birds.
I mean,
Mikey's crashing out. I'm half crashing out.
The trade deadline.
My
is
team's
August
letting
7th.
me down, brother. I mean, fantasy baseball literally just gets me to fantasy football. That's all this is at this point. Because I don't understand
Perfect
fantasy
strategy.
baseball to save my life. Dude, after the draft, I was like, yes, I love this team.
You did great last year.
I mean,
You were the Kansas City Royals last year. That's what you. That's
That
what
is
you
correct.
correct.
what? I
I
felt
knew.
like
I was unstoppable in the first half of the year,
Yeah, and then
and then it all came crashing down, and it
Yeah.
hurts.
Well, no, I
inside.
won. It was weird because I won 11 weeks in a row, and I was still like in 6th place last year. 7th
because
place.
you were winning like 6-5 every week.
Yeah.
You weren't winning like
I was whooping people's asses in the beginning of the year. 9-3, 11-1, 10 to this.
See, that's what I wasn't doing. I was winning, but I wasn't.
And
doing
those
it.
are the wins that
everybody
you
got
need.
hurt, and everybody got hurt in the second half of the year, and I even missed the playoffs.
the only way to get separation is to have those massive weeks
Right.
against somebody. You just beat the shit out of
Even
somebody.
this year, I haven't
and
had a week like that.
You
I
went
don't-
11
Bro,
to
I lost
1.
to Seth 2 weeks ago.
Ugh.
I'm losing to him right now.
Hey,
So,
Seth, I love you, man.
His ERA is better than mine. He's hitting better. It's just rough stretch for the Bambino Bullies. We're all just trying to figure it out right now in the dog days of summer here in June. It's not officially hitting season yet. It's actually crazy the droppage, like number wise, statistically, and the amount of dingers that have been hit this year compared to seasons past. It's
Chris's
weird.
team has fallen from the heavens of fantasy, and now Heather is in first place, right? I believe.
Yeah. She's in first place right now, going head to head with Surge, who's like in second or third, same division. So, the first and the 1 and 2 seed are for the division winners. So no matter what, the 1 and 2 seed are going to be for whoever wins their divisions, and then the variables are going to be everybody else's record and how that looks. So there's going to be second and third place teams that might have a better looking record.
That's crazy. So the 1 and 2 seed will probably be in the same division this year, but the guy who wins.
Automatically they're going to be in different divisions because the 1 and 2 seed are based on who wins their division. 1 seed goes to the best overall record. 2 seed is going to be
who's ever leading that the other.
the winner of the other division, pretty much.
Okay.
And then it goes to a March Madness style bracket, 8 versus 1, 7-2, all that good stuff. And then I like your idea of just making it uneven next year, an uneven amount of categories to avoid
whether we
controversial
add
tie
one batting
situation.
cat or one pitching
I tied like
category.
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of that. Seth's trick is don't so his betting average stays up. I mean, the guys that he has in there are hitting dingers though. Like I think, I've got 2 home runs on the week, I think, and he has 1. So it's not like we're lighting the world on fire.
I couldn't even do that though. I couldn't even do Seth's trick because if I did Seth's trick, I'd have nobody in my starting lineup. So there's that.
Half your team is unavailable because they're in
Half the
tent.
pitching team, dude.
They're in the tent. They're in the
The
clubhouse.
batting team, they might as well be in the tent with the other guys.
Yeah.
Dude, when I looked earlier today, it said 0 and we were 0 and 15 as a team earlier. 0 and 15.
It's a nasty
I got my
start.
first hit at like 20th bat. 20th
Mikey
at bat
right
or
now is
something.
crashing out like Shamar Stewart
It's nuts,
has
bro.
crashed out in his
It's
press
nuts.
conferences as he
I don't get
negotiates
it.
his contract with the
I need
Bengals.
to start watching more fantasy baseball videos. That's all it is. And I try, bro, but they're so boring.
I just watch baseball and I just watch fantasy. Like I watch just betting shows on baseball, and I just get my kind of.
He
Knowledge
stayed
from
up
all
with me
that
until
stuff.
last weekend, so then I made him go out and get a switch from outside.
Oh yeah, that's when he rallied on you, right? Weekends suck sometimes, man. They can be rough.
Yep.
I beat Matt, but I didn't beat Matt enough to where I took back the division. He's still atop the division. I'm like 4 games back.
No
Yeah,
plata,
Matt's
no
surprising
promo.
me this year. I don't know how.
His team gets hit. His team hits. His pitching is meh. I was able to take the pitching
Yeah, but
categories.
when me and him made that trade, Josh Smith had the highest batting average on his team. Literally, Josh Smith had the highest batting average.
And now what does he
and,
have?
and I don't. What Josh Smith? 260 something. That's guy. I'm telling you, nobody wants to hit on my team, bro.
Well, he ended up taking who you said you would have taken had you not drafted Bobby Witt. He went with Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, and it's
as
completely
his first round pick.
It's completely.
Ellie hit a bomb today after I was getting ready to fade him. I posted it in the chat. I was like, all right, if Ellie doesn't do it today, then, I'm going to take a break from him. And at plus 600 odds, he smashed one today earlier. The Reds still lost 11-2, but, at least he contributed something. I won, even though the Reds lost at the end of the day.
And it's funny because I was telling my dad before the draft that if Aaron Judge was there at 3, I was going to take De La Cruz over Aaron Judge.
Ooh.
And I was thanking Chris for taking Aaron Judge because I didn't want to do that. And I ended up taking Witt over De La Cruz.
And that's crazy because when you first mentioned initially your thought process and how you would do things differently, I was saying to myself, what if I would have went Judge over Ohtani?
Right.
And then what if I didn't drop Pete Crow Armstrong like an idiot because I just randomly one day got a vibe and said, and just for no reason dropped the guy. I dropped him and Matt Shaw. So I looked at Pete Crow Armstrong and I was like, oh, he's just another Matt Shaw, but he's not. He's potentially rookie of the year. He's outstanding. Every other day he's hitting bombs, and then this guy picked him up off waivers because I just didn't appreciate what I had. And my team needs a Pete Crow Armstrong right now.
I didn't even realize you did that, dude.
I did it so long ago. And
I seen him on there. I was like, oh, wait.
Stupid.
You picked him up?
Yeah, you scooped him up.
Wow.
Yep.
I had no idea you did that.
And he's been playing great for me since.
One man's treasure is another man's treasure. I just tossed it out there. It wasn't trash. Like, it wasn't.
That's how, but you know what, though? That's what I did
wrong.
with Chase Brown last year on The Money Sports. If I don't drop Chase Brown in week 3, I probably win on The Money Sports, bro. Honestly. If I have Chase Brown to go with that team that I had last year, I think I win on The Money Sports.
You remember Jamar Chase's rookie year?
Remember I picked him up?
I'll never forget.
I'll never forget. I'm on waivers. I'm like, what?
He was the weakest link at the time, bro. He was getting no playing time. And literally a week and a half later.
I know Elon put a claim in for him too.
For who?
For Chase Brown that week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I saw
like
that.
3 heads put a claim in. I knew I had waiver priority because I got my ass whooped that week. And
whatever you guys knew, I did it, man. That's all it was.
Then I went on to
go. I was just like, what is this guy doing on my bench?
Bro,
getting me 2 points a week.
I started
right
1-3 in that league and finished 10-4, and then I lost by 0.5 of a point in the finals. I had a great year in that. Minus not winning the title, I had a very great year.
How many?
I was happy
right waiver wires
to my year before, so big improvement. I'm just looking to.
How many bench spots are in sick picks? 6 bench spots.
I think 7.
7. Maybe
the dream of MetLife is over for sick picks draft.
No, this was on the Money Sports that I
I'm talking about.
Oh, and on the Money Sports.
Yeah.
OTM.
Who ended up with him? Why the hell would you do
Oscar?
Oscar ended up with him. That's right.
And I was cussing him out.
Dude,
when
he was getting me like 2 points a week.
I cussed.
It was week 3, and he was the weakest guy on my team. And I was like, I gotta make a move here,
bro. I cussed him out that Saturday night when he slid. And the
I bet because I had him on 2
himself.
other teams. I bet you
had he scored that 6 points.
Oh, yeah, it's a different story. It's a different story.
Could have been yours.
Not to mention Jamar Chase dropping touchdown passes that day too.
Man, yeah, that's true. Oh man,
the stars were just aligning. It's a weird, crazy week. Jaden Daniels gives me like 70 fantasy points out of nowhere. 63. Just to it's like passing the baton. Like he did just enough for the next guy to be able to just get you to that finish line. Because really, Jaden Daniels had
I'm
no
excited for
business
2 quarterbacks
those
league this year,
up.
man. I am so excited, man. Really. I'm not going to get too crazy with the fantasy talk today because there's a time and a place for that.
I mean, we really don't have a regimen for today. Once you said you were coming, we just threw everything out the window.
Everything went out the window.
We knew we were going to
talk.
The
only thing I want to comment about
fantasy.
is how the Bengals look like idiots right now.
Oh, dude. Jermaine Pratt signing with the Raiders is crazy.
Jermaine Pratt getting cut. Shamar Stewart saying the Bengals would rather win contract negotiations than win games. The first round rookie, because he will not agree to the contract that they're trying to stiff him with some.
Yeah, apparently there's some sort of lingo in there that he's just not effing with.
Yep.
That's saying that they
Not
get
to
money back on depending on what happens to him if he gets hurt or something.
Trey Hendrickson not reporting and will not report unless he gets a new contract.
Which I don't blame him. He's all.
The rumor is that he won't come back.
But
that he won't come back till he has to do the legal, like week 7 or week 8. That he's willing to go that far into it.
And honestly, the only reason why a guy like James Cook has come back and he is practicing is because he's not like some of these other guys who's been paid before and has the money that can sit on and pay these $100,000 fines and stuff like that. So unfortunately, James Cook isn't in that kind of position, at least not just yet. But it is good to see him at practice because it just shows like leadership. It shows that you're still willing to put the work in and stuff like that. And not that guys like Trey Henderson isn't, because obviously he led the league in sacks for putting the work in. But he's still he's owed money, or not owed money, but at least he feels like he's owed a new contract. He's owed that stability and that peace of mind.
Certain things that should have gotten handled that didn't get handled by the organization, and now it's just kind of.
I mean, it's no different than how the Giants handled.
They need Trey Hendrickson, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
They just got rid of their other linebacker, Henderson.
Same way they need to trade Higgins.
You got Shamar Stewart.
Trade Higgins.
Yeah, Shamar, who's probably not going to sign until that contract situation gets settled.
Right, he's not going to show up until that gets settled.
And their defense was already shaky last year. So, are we looking at another 1-3 start in September if those players ain't playing again?
I mean, possibly. And I think if they get off to a bad start this year again, they'll be on the chopping block, like as far as the fire sale goes.
They always start.
You got to trade Higgins. You got to trade Henderson. You got to start trading guys. And
Higgins' deal is technically like a 1-year deal. I was reading.
Yeah, but anybody
they could get out of Higgins' deal after this year. Yeah,
Matt, what up?
Go look at the lingo of that contract. They would only be on the hook for like $10 million dead money or something like that.
Yeah, I did hear that. Because Boomer likes to talk about the Bengals whenever he gets a chance.
Because he's a Bengal.
Right.
I can't believe he's not criticizing them right now.
He doesn't like to talk bad about them because he still loves those guys over there, and
I'm surprised.
Like they put a lot of money into his charities and stuff like that. So he won't talk ill, but he does say that he always says that it's interesting that they came out and paid the way they paid. He did mention Higgins' contract.
You look at Hendrickson. He's looking at both receivers getting paid like.
Yeah, but he also understands when you're paying these guys on the offense that you're going to have unhappy guys on the defense, and Henderson is literally the perfect example of what's happening because he said that shit 2 years ago, honestly. So,
there was no need to keep Higgins, bro.
No, not
there
really,
was no
man.
need.
Not really.
Because they could draft, and like Ishovas would have been they would have great wide receiver too.
I think they should have just.
I think Ishovas could have gave you exactly what Higgins could give you.
I think they should
because guess who's on the other side? Jamar Chase.
Right.
If you're an average wide receiver, Jamar Chase is going to elevate you to an above average because the targets are going to be there.
And there's still other guys that you can go out and sign that they could have signed.
What up, Chris?
And drafted. They could have drafted better too, man.
Their draft was terrible this year.
Yeah, it's safe to say what Oscar was saying a while back, that this team should have handled a lot of these things a while back, and they didn't.
Chris,
and all these things started coming up at the same time. All these bills due at the same time, and it's that 1 week out of the month where everything was due, and the Bengals lights went out.
They were better off trading Higgins, bro. Ishovas could be a good wide receiver too. Then you could have took somebody in the 3rd round, or even Trent Irwin. Like, find the way to keep Trent Irwin, because I know Trent Irwin left.
I think they just need a massive rehaul in the front office, man.
That old man's not giving up his power, bro.
You can't move him out of there.
I'm not talking about ownership. I'm just saying GM.
He is the GM. He does everything. He's like Jerry Jones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Mike Brown is identical. He runs everything.
The drafting is bad. I think he got lucky with Burrow and Chase, man.
You can't go wrong with Burrow. He was the number 1 pick coming off of
he got lucky, man.
And that is
and
why
you couldn't go wrong with Chase.
That is why
wherever
I
Jamar
believe
Chase went
in this football team's ability to still make the playoffs. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, but 9-8, 10-7.
I don't know.
I don't think they're better than the Chargers.
If they start off bad, like Omani said, if they're
1-3, they're not making the playoffs.
They're 2-6 or 1-5 before that trade deadline, dude. I think they're gonna sell.
Chargers to me are a more complete team right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bengals aren't a complete
Hell
team.
yeah, I think the Chargers will dog walk the Bengals in the game.
Bengals can stumble and fumble their way into the playoffs still, and
and it's not to say that Burrow and Chase and Higgins can't go off that day neither. You know what I mean? Because it's not like the Chargers defense is crazy. So I think it'll be an electric 40-point game. 80-point game. When it comes to a Charger and Bengals
Chargers defense is decent. Chargers can maybe try to hold them to like 24 points and hope that the Chargers offense can put up 27.
Right.
And not to make on anybody's injuries, but T. Higgins is an injury-prone wide receiver.
Yeah, he's shown to be the last 2 years, man.
Last 2 years, yeah.
So he's somebody that when it comes to fantasy,
defensively, man, I just don't see it, bro.
For the Bengals, right?
I don't see it. I think they're going to be giving. They're going to score. The Bengals are going to score 30. Brooks. Their defense is going to give up 34.
I like Brooks, honestly. I think that he's a different running back than Chase Brown. He's not a pass-catching running back. Brooks is going to be a run it up the gut and give you 5 to 6 yards.
Some people think that Brooks is actually going to take away a lot from Chase Brown this year.
We'll see.
Personally, I like Chase Brown. I think he's in a good spot. Unless somebody else on the depth chart proves otherwise, I think it
helps.
They felt good enough about Chase Brown that they let Mixon leave, and Mixon had a great year with the Texans.
Right.
But now, speaking of Mixon, now you got Nick Chubb coming in. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I
think that's great for you.
What's that about?
I love it.
It's kind of a weird.
It's the league, man. Everybody's trying to go for that two-headed monster. Honestly, I think everybody's looking for something like that now. So for me, I love it for them. Honestly, as long as
what is it going to be, bro?
He's
the goal inside the 20-yard line. You're going to feed Chubb,
bro.
Just like inside the 20-yard line, Dobbins getting.
And honestly, and then every other series, you can start them off on first and second down. Pound the rock, bro. Get the defense tired and put Mixon in on third down plays.
I wouldn't love it if I was like a Mixon owner.
As a Mixon owner,
as a Joe Mixon owner, it's just like,
as a Joe Mixon
because now you got Joe Mixon sitting potentially in that flex spot, maybe RB2, depending on how your situation's looking. And now you're looking at your roster, you're revising everything after this signing because Nick Chubb, he's on the older side. He had a big injury, but his signing still impacts what happens in that backfield because it's still Nick Chubb, And we know that with this football team, they're gonna want to run the rock. C.J. Stroud has just commenced throwing after a while of not throwing.
No, Matt does.
Matt has Nick Chubb.
I traded Montgomery and Chubb to Matt. Got my picks back.
Yeah, that's
picks
right.
that I gave to Alexi.
That I got.
I don't know.
For
that James I gave Cook. With those picks I gave Alexi, I ended up getting Kelsey and. And then I gave him Kelsey for A-Chain and some other stuff.
And then on the other and more running back news, J.K. Dobbins getting damn near $5 million. To go to Denver. I'm sorry, and I know you guys are hype on Harvey and all that. That's a lot of money to put on a backup running back.
I don't think he's a backup.
I think
until he gets hurt, I think he's a starter.
He's the starter until he gets hurt.
Yeah, he's the starter until he gets hurt. I agree.
You don't pay somebody $5 million to sit on the bench.
It ruins the Harvey experience until JK gets hurt.
It holds it off.
Unless Harvey just shows completely out in OTAs until he shows out in preseason and he's showing that he's just the guy, then it's different.
You have your two-headed monster.
I think it's not. It's not. We're not going to see a full takeover. You're talking about
damn near $5 million, bro. Ain't no way.
We're not going to see a full takeover of Harvey.
The Giants paid Devin Singletary last year $8 million, and Tracy took that job. So it's not like it's impossible to do or unheard of. But
the Giants were a mess.
It still happened. We still
paid
Singletary.
Are a mess.
Yeah, but a lot of the people now that are saying look out for Dobbins were the ones clowning him the last couple years because of his injuries.
I had him on my dynasty.
I had him last year on my team, on my redraft teams. I had him.
Dobbins, bad
I was
knees,
super
two
high
knees,
on
Dobbins,
Dobbins.
whatever.
Just Knees. I love it. That's
Just
the best.
Knees.
It's one of my favorite nicknames I've ever gave him.
And he gets signed, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, look out. He's coming for somebody's job. It's like, it's crazy how the narrative
Listen, man,
can change
until
that
the guy
quickly
gets
for a
hurt,
guy.
he will take somebody's job, bro. That guy
When
not
he's
taking
healthy,
Harvey's.
he's ridiculous.
That's RJ Harvey's job. This helps RJ
Listen,
Harvey.
we
along
both
the
love
way.
Harvey, bro. I love Harvey just as much as you do.
I just think now it's not going to be like a week one RJ Harvey takeover type of deal. I think that it'll
and
take
honestly,
some
it
time.
still can be. JK can start that game, and Harvey can come in and just
And
do his thing. And
maybe
I'm
that's
surprised,
how
yo,
he is.
Speaking of Nick Chubb, going back to Chubb, I'm surprised the Cowboys didn't try to get him.
Well,
I'm super surprised at Cowboys, but they must love Blue. I think they really love Blue.
They got Blue, they got Javonte Williams,
Devontae Williams and Blue.
and Miles Sanders.
right.
But I'm very high on Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be very good for that offense.
I
think he's going to get a lot of passes dumped off to him from Dak Prescott.
I think Blue will have the pass catching role.
I think with Pickens and Lamb there, you're going to have to force the safety to back up. You're going to have lighter boxes.
Right.
What are you saying?
and-
Dak Prescott going for 4,500 this year?
I think Dak Prescott might get 5,000.
Did Matthew
5,000?
just trade a 5,000-yard QB for James Conner?
Wait, that?
Good one.
Oh yeah, when he
He
traded.
traded Netta Dak Prescott to get James Conner. That's how he got James Conner.
Well, Netta
And that's what he tried to tell me the other day.
Netta
Where
should've
that's
never had
why
to
he
do
didn't want
that.
to do the BTJ.
Netta should have just been smart enough to put him on IR and
You're
just let
right.
him sit.
You're right.
I still feel as though she had a brain fart and thought it was redraft.
Well, she also did it with Trevor Lawrence like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later. It's not like a month later. So
That weed
know.
must have been hitting good.
yeah, maybe.
Pattern.
Maybe.
It's a
Yeah, I don't know.
at that point, it's a
It's
pattern.
my nigga though. Love you, Seth.
I mean, she still won the freaking chip, didn't she?
Yeah,
She is
yeah,
the league
wait, yeah,
champion.
she
She is
did.
still the
She
league
did,
champion.
yeah.
She
Yeah,
won the
She dropped her
championship
top 2 quarterbacks and won the league.
and with
So
Mac
she-
Jones at her quarterback.
Well,
Mac Jones in a QB1 league, in a 1 QB
You
league,
heard it
Mac
right.
Jones in her championship game.
Neto won a
She
dynasty
won it
league
all.
with Mac Jones at QB.
She won the startup league, the startup year.
It was just- yeah,
it was
yeah.
the like she won year 1 of dynasty.
You know, when you look at her team, she drafted to win now.
Oh my
You know,
goodness,
got
the
Barkley.
wall.
Got
She-
Mike Evans.
she-
yeah, she got.
She's
big
seen
dogs.
everything that was coming her way. She was at the back end of that draft.
Yeah.
And everybody in front of her was drafting for their future and thinking about tomorrow. And she was like, "What? You're
Yeah.
gonna leave all these guys following
I'm
me?"
gonna go get them right now. I'm getting my
So
chip right now.
I don't blame her for the way she drafted.
Yeah.
She does need to work on a taxi squad, but I believe that she will eventually. So
I don't think there is anybody in her taxi squad.
yeah,
Right? There's
yeah.
nobody
But
in there.
she could work on
Just
that.
an empty apartment.
She could work on
Just-
that. She
There's
could work on
nobody there, bro.
Will Smith sitting in the home.
that. I think she had. If you look at her bench, I don't even think she's moved her rookies to her.
John Travolta walking and going like this.
Yeah, in Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
walking into the chick's house.
And Matt said, "Bro, I had like 10 QBs. Yeah, and you might have just traded the best one. I don't know.
You know, I didn't watch that movie
Mhm.
until I was like 40, like 2 years ago.
What?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction from beginning to end.
Oh, that's funny.
I never
Yeah.
understood.
Classic.
Like, I was like,
I had to watch it multiple times.
I had to
after
figure out that
explained
Travolta was dead the entire time the main plot was going
it.
on.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
That completely went over my head the first time I watched it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm watching and then he's back. I seen him get shot and then I seen him back. I'm like,
what just happened?
wait, I
Yeah.
thought he was dead. And I'm thinking because I was drinking wine with my wife, I'm like, bro, am I drunk?
Bro.
Like, what's going on here?
You missed like 10 minutes of the movie because you're trying to put shit
Yeah.
together.
I have
That's,
some wine at home that a customer gave me that I haven't tried yet. I gotta try it. He made it himself.
Nice. 39-36 right now with 7 minutes in the second quarter. Pacers actually up by 3
Whoa.
in game 3 of the NBA Finals between 2 organizations.
Cool little
looking for their
tidbit.
First
Pacers are
championship.
0-3 in game 3s this year.
0-3 in game 3s this year. Have they had a game 3 in Indy this year? Well, against you guys, right?
Yeah.
Game 3 in Indy.
When the Pacers lose, they're undefeated undefeated in game 3s. I think it is. Or is it when they lose game 3, they're undefeated in game? No, I think it's they're undefeated in game 3s this year in the playoffs.
Undefeated in game 3s?
Yeah, I don't think they have lost a game 3 at all in this playoffs.
Speaking of tidbits, how about this for you guys? This is going to be a full circle for all my sports teams.
Oh boy.
In 1999, the Mets were 2 games away or a game away from making the World Series, just like they were last year. And in 2000, they went to the World Series with the Yankees.
Oh, that's when they got swept. Right?
That could happen again this year. And it went
Mets
5.
got
I thought it went 5, right?
Yeah,
It went
they
5.
won Game 3.
Yeah.
I think, of that year.
First game in Shea.
We play them again soon, actually. The second series.
So yeah, 25 years ago, Yankees, Mets, Subway World Series. Could happen again, right? You know what else happened 25 years ago? After that? The Knicks lost to the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals 25 years ago. You know what else happened 25 years ago? Giants went to the Super Bowl. You know why I said all this, guys? Because the Giants are going to the Super Bowl this year.
That was it? All right.
Woo!
I like it. I like the heel turn at the end. All right. That's cool.
Giants Nation.
Let's ride.
Well, I mean,
Russell Wilson's about to bring Jalen Hyatt back to life. Back to life.
How do you think it's going to go on? Would that?
Darius Slayton's going to have his best season ever.
It's him. It's Wyatt. It's who else? Wandale, right?
Who else?
Wandale Robinson.
One of the best receivers in the league, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I know Neighbors is there. I'm saying after him, you know. Like
Wandale, Slayton, Hyatt, and some other guys.
Okay. Week 1 versus Washington.
It's going down.
Like that?
Neighbors isn't going to drop the ball this time. Neighbors is going to drop the ball this time.
We're gonna have to take time. Before we forget, at some point during the summer,
whatever Neighbors prop says on week 1, I'm taking it.
Well, we're gonna have to make our NFL futures bets.
I can't wait for that.
This guy did it last year. I missed the boat on it. I think I did like a Super Bowl pick, which was Chiefs Rams was my Super Bowl pick. But I want to do like the divisions thing that you did, except I think I'm just gonna take the division like straight up. Each division bet it straight up, and then just for funsies, I'll do a parlay. Of the
don't remind me, dude. I should have cashed out.
Yeah, you had a chance.
How much was the cash out?
When they won their 10th game, it was $67 cash out. No, $72.13.
Damn, 13 cents.
Yeah. Use that extra change and make a home run parlay. Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm going to let it ride out. And then loss.
How much did you put on it? It was like $1 or something?
$10. Oh. Still doesn't matter. I had an option of 73.
Yeah. I get it, dude. I've been there, man. I've been there.
You got to be mindful of the
gotta love it, right? Anybody want to put me in their family plan?
Right now they got the Steelers at 8.5
wins.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to take.
Smash the over, guys. Smash the over.
That's a smart number from Vegas, bro. Because it really makes you think.
It does. No, it does. Because if this guy's right, or his hopes come true,
8 and 9, you don't win that shit.
Right.
Like 8 and 9, you lose that bet.
Yes.
And 8 and 9 could potentially be the story of their season.
Yeah, that's a complete down season for the Pittsburgh season.
It's more realistic than them going 5 and 12.
Yes.
It's 8 and 9 is
more
not going 5 like drafting in the middle, like always. Just
not that year, buddy. They're gonna trade up.
What are you guys gonna?
I put money on that.
Trade up for one of these quarterbacks?
Yep. They're gonna get rid of they're gonna switch spots. They're gonna trade a first, they'll trade a second, and they'll trade one of those thirds. That should be more than enough to get into the top 7, 8, 9.
No, not at all.
I bet it will. I already looked at the draft analyzer.
It's going to be a fun conversation next year.
You telling the draft analyzer the AI was wrong?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mikey doesn't believe any analyzer besides his.
Yeah.
Forget it. You can show him the numbers. That shit don't matter.
You know, Mikey, analyze this.
Take your analyzer and shove it. He ain't worried about your analyzer. He's got the Mikey analyzer. Yeah. And it says yours is wrong.
You know what? In my soul, this is where I'm supposed to be. Remember that. That's what my
a
quarterback
pick
said.
swap and a 2 and a 3
Who
for
said
the
that?
same year to get into the top 10
And then
doesn't even
a
make
first
sense.
for the next year.
I think somebody would want
To
instead
move
of a
up
two,
in between 8, 9, and 10.
you'd
I
have to make
absolutely
it like
think
two
so.
twos in the
Nah, that's if you want to get in the top 5.
No, top 10. Top 5, you're asking for more.
Yes.
You're asking for more. Hell yeah.
They're just not giving up.
Remember,
right. No, yeah,
They're
he's
not
thinking from a
Nah.
Pittsburgh point
Yeah,
of
I'm telling
view.
you,
I
dog.
get it.
We're not paying that.
I get that.
I'm not saying
I
you're
get
going to
it,
pay it.
but
I'm just saying
that
that's what they're
doesn't
gonna
get it
have.
done.
from 18
That
to
doesn't
8
get it
ain't
done.
gonna take much.
No, it doesn't.
You'll see.
Listen,
A
just
2
because
and
you got DK Metcalf,
A
hot
pick
shot.
swap, a 1, 2, and a 3 doesn't get you into the top 10.
It will. It will. I'm not worried about it. That's why all these analysts keep talking about, oh, Pittsburgh did the wrong thing. They should have just tanked. Like, tanking's the only way to get into the top 10. There's more than one way.
There's
Starting
definitely more
Like
than
we
one
discussed the other day.
way, but it will cost more than that.
Starting
Like we
Howard.
discussed the other day. The Chiefs were what? The 27th ranked team?
Mm-hmm.
Moved to 13, got Pat Mahomes. Then did the Bills have to move up to go get Josh Allen?
I don't know, but they took him at 6, right? He was pick 6 of that draft.
You know, we could talk about there's teams, you know, it can be done. You don't need to lose. You don't need the tank to get what you want.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm going to be very interested to see what that line is closer to the season for Pittsburgh if it stays at 8.
Oh, it is.
You
Even
might-
after
it might
Rodgers
be, it might be
signed.
better to take it now, honestly.
Take the over now.
Yep. Unless the only way I see that number getting lower if somebody gets hurt.
You want a hot early take?
Ugh.
A hot
Because if they
spicy
F
take?
around and sign another wide receiver, bro, that number can get higher. If they make a trade for McLaurin, that number goes up.
They're not going to get McLaurin.
You don't know that. You just said you can make a trade.
You got to save that draft capital.
Listen, let
for
me
next
tell you
year,
something.
dog.
Let me tell you something.
You wanna
if
hear-
you believe a 1, 2, and a 3 in a pick swap gets you to the top 10, the
You're
signing
dead.
McLaurin is not that crazy.
Maybe next
Not that
year.
crazy.
Yeah, 2 or 3. No, bro.
Listen,
Yeah.
nobody wants to trade with us anyway because we've been. Somebody, Jason Jones from CBS said that the Steelers have been sniffing for playmakers, but the most they're offering is like 5th and 6th round picks
It's wild as hell, dog.
to see if someone's gonna bite.
Bro,
This
the
is
Steelers,
1973, bro.
the Steelers should be in our
And
dynasty
then
league.
and
Really.
Jason-
These other organizations have internet access and shit. You
And
guys
then
can't-
Jones goes like this. He goes, eventually a deal's gonna be made, but it's not gonna be as cheap. You know, he goes. Pittsburgh's not breaking the bank for a wide receiver. It's gonna be. The guy said it. He's gonna be somebody like a Romeo Dobbs or something.
And that's why you guys will be drafting in the middle again.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do anything crazy to get yourselves out of the spot.
I would
that
take
you're
Dobbs. I would
All right,
take
Dad.
Pitts.
Good night, man. Appreciate you.
I would
Have a
take
good
Pitts
one,
or
bro.
Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs will be good for that, I think.
in. You think McLaurin gets traded? You think this is where we're at with that whole situation?
He
right now?
reported
We haven't
He's
really
not
discussed
showing
it.
up, right? He's not showing up. So
We kind of swept it under the rug because we don't feel like it's big yet, but it's
no,
one of
I
those
think
things
it's
that
big.
grows.
Did you see the
week after
there's a
week.
footage
All
of
I know-
Deebo Samuel right now running routes? He does not
Oh yeah,
look good.
he's getting locked up. He's getting the corners of Washington are locking him up.
He
bro.
does not look good. So if they don't sign him, what else do you do with him if the guy's not going to show up?
This
You
isn't
might
even
as well
real.
get something for him.
This isn't even real training camp too. Like this is just
Right. These are just
You're getting
OTAs. And I
figured out.
get it, but this guy, he looks a little thick. Pause. Looks a little thick out there. It's a little heavy. His feet look a little heavy out there. Not going to lie.
Debo.
I get it. It's OTAs, bro. I get it.
I'm glad
I
traded
get
that
it,
guy.
but I don't know. Optics doesn't look too good.
I got a 203 for Debo, and I love it. Because I saw the writing on the wall for that whole situation. I didn't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with an Ayuk or a Debo or those just murky, weird situations that don't have any type of clarity. And the product that I'm getting on the field is, generating me 8 points when the guy across from me is already scoring like his 3rd touchdown,
Tell you what, though, guys like Purcell and Jennings, they could be sleepers this year for fantasy.
Yeah, they're going to be getting people early leads in their fantasy seasons because in September, October, those are going to be the guys that are going to get leaned on. And of course, George Kittle and, again.
Yeah, George Kittle's getting drafted where I think he's kind of supposed to be this year. But I think guys like Purcell and Jennings who are going to go late in a lot of drafts can actually surprise you.
The Smarks are going to take those wide receivers knowing that Ayuk is not going to be potentially ready for
I said pause. What's wrong with you guys?
like he ain't gonna be ready for week 1. It's gonna be Pearsall. It's gonna be Jennings, who last year, in sleeper, I remember Jennings putting up a couple of 38-point, 40-point weeks.
Right. Well, we got to remember Pearsall, who looked good at the end of the year, got shot last summer.
Yeah,
the kid got shot.
His first.
So this is his first full year
Yeah.
in the NFL, full healthy year. He's coming through LTA. He's healthy. He's going to be in training camp healthy. He's going to go through the preseason healthy. And, nobody trusts and shouldn't trust CMC. He's just there just to be a Trojan horse, because I think Brock Purdy is going to still throw the ball, and he's got to prove himself. He just got paid. Brock Purdy's going to throw the ball, and I think Pearsall and Jennings are going to be the benefactors of that.
Does not trusting CMC make you want to put more trust into one of those other names in that running back room, like a Garendo? Or
really,
like
who else is there besides Garendo? I think they drafted a kid, but I don't know him.
Abinaconda, I think, is there.
Oh, is he?
I think so.
Okay,
he's there. It's somebody
I love
else too.
Garendo, though. Honestly, I do love Garendo.
Patrick Taylor.
Oh, that's right, Taylor.
Remember, he had a week.
He had 2. He had 2 weeks.
He was waiver wire priority week 1.
Yeah, I give him that.
But that's what the 49ers will do to you in these types of situations, where when CMC went down, originally it was the Elijah Mitchell. We were thinking he's going to be the next up. There's always that next up guy in San Francisco, and that just shows you
because of the system, man.
The injury history of CMC.
You know what McVay said to that?
Scenario.
That if Stafford had left, they were going to go whatever it took to get Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That McVay was more than – McVay was like, oh, he's great. He was – I see no drop-off in his play.
Interesting.
And it would have been in the dome.
But
so you don't have to worry about you're talking 8-9 home games a year.
So what are you saying? 14 games for you guys then?
Nah.
But to me,
I told you ceiling's 11.
To me, though, that makes sense when you look at what the Rams have. They're a little bit of an older team overall. Like, they have a team that is competing. They have a top 2, top 3 NFC team. So plugging in
Aaron Rodgers, Adams, and Puka. With Kyron Williams,
he's there with his bestie Adams, and then you have the new toy of Puka Nacua, and what that potential matchup could be. And we're still kind of unfamiliar with some of the younger players, the Jaquez Hunter, and what role he's going to play now.
McVay likes Hunter,
and what that means for Kyron Williams.
Yes.
Because when McVay's ready to move on, bro,
Kyron Williams had almost 400 touches last year. I don't think he's going to do that again this year.
When McVay's ready to pull the plug and move on,
he will do
that. Shit happens like nothing, bro. Like, it's
let Hunter go out there and ball out real quick. McVay will be like, "Yo, Kyron, come over here next to me, please."
Like San Francisco will stream a running back and then pivot back to McCaffrey when the time comes. Right. The Rams never pivot back to anybody.
No,
they're done.
They stay with the hot hand.
Like when the Rams are done with you, they are done with you. Blake Corum is basically a Kyron.
Yeah, they're holding on to him to see if he can still break out for them. But if he doesn't do it this year for them, I could see them getting off of him soon too.
Yeah, this kind of puts the pressure on him because I think Hunter's going to end up being more ready than.
They're not ready for that, Matt.
Blake. What y'all gonna do when the Giants make the playoffs?
Shit.
I mean, I'm gonna watch.
I'm gonna watch.
I guess, right? I'm gonna watch. I'll be happy for you guys, of course. I'll be interested to see how they the journey to getting there is going to be the interesting aspect because that means a
roller coaster with us. So.
If something like that happened for you, that means something very terribly bad happened for somebody else in the NFC, like something terrible. Something that just flips a division upside down completely. You know what I mean? Like any type of a bad injury, whatever the case is. I don't know if they're there yet, but we'll see what's up.
Nah, it's usually just us beating somebody that we weren't supposed to beat, man. That's usually all that. It's not even injuries, bro. When we won those epic Super Bowl runs, that's Dallas. They beat us twice that season. What happened in the playoffs?
Dallas was the 1 seed that year. And when it comes to question marks, that's one of those teams, that you have those question marks around. For something good to happen to you, that means something bad had to have happened to a Dallas Cowboys or a Washington, that you don't just be good and it's like everything's okay. Like for an underdog, which is I don't know what the over under for the Giants is right now. I think it's probably 6.
I think
6
so.
games.
I think it is 6.5.
I
might be lower. honestly. And if it is lower, I'm telling people to smash them up. But I want to say 6.5.
Do you think 7 wins is enough for Dayball to keep his job?
Maybe. It
Alex,
depends.
like,
It depends how
Alex
he
says
finishes
he's gotta
the
go.
year.
Like, how does it? You know what I mean? Like,
It depends how, like, because if we're only winning 7 games, then how does that happen? Like, do we start the year 5-2 and then only go win 2 more games?
crash and
You know what I'm
burn.
saying? Or do we start the year 2-5 and then finish, 7 and whatever? Like, it's a big difference. So
I think what might seal his fate is like if you're not able to beat the Eagles or the Cowboys. Like,
that could
that's
too.
usually
That could
what
potentially
does it.
too. But we play those guys at the end of the year. So again, how we finish the year is
China.
big. We play a lot of division guys at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And again, let's say we start off bad and Dart gets thrown in halfway through the season, and if we finish the year strong, then it's going to look good for them that they drafted the right QB, that we won a couple of games at the end of this year, and they're just going to go ahead and give him another shot. Give this kid another year in this system, a nice full year or full season after you just seen him ball out for the last 6 to 7 games of the season.
Is Russell Wilson still your starting quarterback in December?
Oh, I don't know.
If
I
they're
can't tell
like
you that
if
right
they're
now.
a 500 team or like 1 game under, I think so.
Yes, that I can agree with.
If they're like 1-8 or something, or
Yeah.
2-7, Jackson
Yeah.
Dart will be the guy.
If they're 1-8,
now you wanna see
then
what he's
there's
got.
a good chance that somebody in the Bronx will kidnap him.
Him and Sierra,
Yeah, both of them.
and then Jameis will come in.
Nah, I
Lord,
think-
just deliver me from these pick sixes.
No, I think Dart. If we're that bad, I think Dart will get the shot at that point.
I don't know, man. I think Russell Wilson's gonna get y'all to like 7 wins.
I think so too. Honestly, not
And-
for nothing, man. Not for nothing. I have a lot of optimism for this year. I will be, I'll stand firm as far as like being real and understanding about what the Giants are and everything like that. Like, obviously, when I say stuff Super Bowl, like, I want it to happen and I will believe that it can happen. But at the same time, like, we have problems.
There's a ways to get there,
Yeah, there's always ways to get there, but show me. They got to show me first before I really put a stamp on, Super Bowl runs and stuff like that. It's June.
I'm just curious.
It's June 11th, guys. Like, come on.
I'm curious to see how much of this process Dayball's going to be a part of to this point, because now we're at a point where it's been.
He's got to be a part of the whole process, bro. He's got to be a part of the whole process. It's all on him.
Is the fan base going to want him there for the whole process?
It depends it depends what we look like, dude. It really depends what we look like. Because if we're shitting the bed early, then they're going to be calling for his head. And Mara's not one to fire coaches mid-season or anything like that, so I don't see something like that happening. But again, if they throw the kid in there and we do good and we finish the season strong, I could see them giving him a full shot under the coach. So we'll see, though, man.
And
if
then-
y'all get to 7 or 8 wins, Dable's coming back because it's
Yeah.
going to show improvement.
Yeah. I agree
8
with
and
that
9.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8 and 9.
We
'cause
do
that's-
7, 8, 9, even go crazy and do 10 wins with Dable, with Russ, then yeah,
the
he's coming
defense is
back.
going to be good this year.
I think so, man.
I like everything
I think so.
defensively y'all did.
A couple of those 9
The draft
losses are
and-
close games.
I want Kayvon Thibodeau to make Joe Shane have to make a really tough decision next offseason. That's what I want Thibodeau to do. Because he's not, he hasn't been great since we drafted him. And I need him to be great this year.
He should be with all that talent.
He
around
really
him.
no. At this point, with
There's no
everybody that we
excuse.
have now, no, there's no excuses for him not to be great, bro. As long as Dexter Lawrence stays healthy and everybody else is healthy, like, there's no excuses why that kid can't be great.
I think you guys can win 7 this year. I just don't know what that means for the future, because I think they're going to look back at that 7-10 record, and maybe if they can look at those 10 losses and say we could have won 3 or 4 of these, in the last 2 minutes, and defense is holding up their end, and you're getting production.
I don't think
quarterback.
7 wins saves Dave Wall's job. I think it depends how it's how we get that 7 is what saves his job. I think that's what it is. Now, anything more than 7, I think his job is saved. But if it's just 7, I think it depends on how we got this 7.
Right.
Because like I said, if we start the year 5-2 and only win 2 more games the rest of the year, miss the playoffs. Because at 5-2, New York's going crazy. The media's saying we're making the playoffs, and the possibilities are endless at 5-2, literally. Yeah. And we finished the year with 7 wins. No, he's getting canned.
Yeah, 5-2 won't get you shit.
He's getting canned.
Yeah,
you start the year off 5-2 and finish the year with 7 wins. You're getting canned. But again, you start the year 2-5. Again, the media is going crazy. New York's going crazy. It's off with his head. They want him out of there. Throw in the kid. They throw in the kid, and we finish the year with 7 wins after a 2-5 start. And his job might be saved at that point.
Is Alexi done with baseball?
Yeah,
probably.
He's over it.
Yeah.
So there's already a
but he's not over the GM.
But again, Alexi's going to be one of those guys at 5-2 talking about Super Bowl. We start the year at 5-2. Mark my words, Alexi's Super Bowl bound. I'm sorry, coach. I'm sorry. I promise you. I promise you.
I don't know if he'd be saying Super Bowl bound,
bro. Look at him with the Mets right now. You don't think he's going to say Super Bowl bound at 5-2 for the Giants?
The Mets are struggling right now.
You'll know once he starts throwing.
Frank said they were only going to win 10 more games the rest of the year. Frank had me dying.
Why did he say that, though? When did they lose?
They had a good series.
They've been playing really well.
They had a good series against the Dodgers, but besides the Dodgers, the Mets haven't really been playing anybody noteworthy. They had 2 series against Colorado. They had a series against the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, but they're winning those series, though.
They should. It's the White Sox and the Rockies. They're doing what they're supposed to do right now, and they were able to. They were able to go 2-2 against LA in LA. And they've been playing.
And they took the season series against LA. So if they happen to make it to the
they have that advantage over them
playoffs and see each other.
Frank be losing his
mind. They have a big series coming up with the Chicago Cubs, which is also going to have big implications for the playoffs because the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the playoffs. They're like number 4 in runs scored. They can score. They got some pitching woes, but like a lot of us do. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when they have that group together, the potential rookie of the year in the NL side of Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and all that, like they're Cubs are one of the big dogs in the NL. They might not have a bark as strong as the Dodgers go, because that's really who the measuring stick is on that side, but they're going to be in the mix later on. In a tough division, because the National League Central, it's tough. When you make it out of there, you're dealing with six total teams in that division. You really gotta gotta outlast the Cardinals, the Brewers, and whoever makes it out of the mud in that division is gonna have the opportunity to potentially play whoever makes it out of the NL East.
Mets have the second most games played against opponents under 500. Guess who's number 1? The Dodgers.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Dodgers actually struggled in a lot of those matchups where it's like they're playing to the level of their competition and just kind of looking
as to where the Mets are kind of taking care of business, as they should be, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we'll see how the second half of the season looks for these guys then, because obviously they can't just keep playing these bad teams all year long.
It'll get tougher. They got division games coming up, but they also, you look at within their division, Phillies are still trying to figure things out, and then there's nothing else going on. Nationals are spunky at best, but spunky isn't going to get you shit. Right. Marlins, come on. And the Braves have completely the Braves are just a shell of themselves. Acuna came back.
I think the Braves are going to be sellers.
Oh, yes. They are talking about that on the radio, too.
They are the shits, buddy.
They're talking about the Braves selling hard right now. They look bad.
They are the shits.
They look bad. They're 2 games away from being as bad as the Marlins.
Fade. Every time I see them on the slate, I'm like, now I can't bet on the team they're playing against because they're going to contaminate the whole game. Their games are just yucky, gross. You just want no parts of it. Not interested.
None at all.
Braves are 3-12 since Acuna has come back. And it's crazy because he came back. First thing he did, first at bat, first pitch was a home run. So you think to yourself, oh, man, this is it.
He's back.
This is the shot. This is the shot in the arm we needed to go on a rally. They have proceeded to get beat down every day
since Acuna came back.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it's rough, bro.
That's tough.
It's rough. It's rough in these streets.
Little.
These teams are starving, bro. Starving. It's halftime right now, currently with a score of 64-60. Indiana,
very close.
Wow.
4-point lead in a pivotal Game 3 matchup at home in Indy. I know that stadium is probably rocking for the home team.
I know.
First finals game in Indy for them since they played the Lakers.
You know what I think is going on? I think the NBA is making phone calls to Oklahoma and be like, "Hey guys, let's just let's tone it down a bit. We're gonna need this series to go 7."
And why is that?
Your cities just don't do it for us, so we just need as many games that we can get out of you guys to make as much money as we can.
And hopefully there's no tornado watches out there when this game is scheduled, because I know they were pissed about that.
That too. We're gonna lose money from tornadoes.
We are hosting.
That shit wouldn't happen in New York or LA.
We're hosting a finals game in a tornado-infested area.
I mean, that's crazy. Honestly, that is kind of crazy. But again,
out there, bro.
It is. Yeah, I was about to say it's just as
Oklahoma
different out
City,
there.
bro.
So,
different world.
Shout out to them, small towns. What do you call them? Small market teams, man. Shout out, bro.
Yeah, they're doing it this year.
I don't know what that's like.
They're doing it big. Sam Presti out there looking like a genius.
Yo, for 20 years, bro, he's been designing this team. I feel like. Did you see the trades that he's been doing since 2007?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They say the Rashad Lewis trade started this whole domino effect, and it's crazy when you actually read
He's
it.
playing Dynasty, bro.
Yeah.
And I
Real life Dynasty, yes.
And I like the way his team looks.
Yes.
When
I read that whole thing, I was like, wow, I was just like, I tip my hat to this guy. Like, he really did his thing.
They can draft.
That is a GM right there. That is a GM. Because
not
only do they draft good, but he made the right moves.
Bro, this is a product of the team that was in the bubble that went 7 games with the Rockets. Like, from that team, this OKC team just got better and better.
They didn't draft Shea.
Better.
The Hornets drafted Shea, and the Clippers gave up on them.
Right. Hornets are good at drafting. They drafted Curry, right?
No, Kobe. They drafted Kobe.
They drafted Kobe.
And SGA.
Yeah.
Crazy. They drafted legends and gave up on them.
Gave up on him too soon. I knew SGA was a dog when I seen him in the bubble. I was like, this kid,
he can ball.
He's out there carrying this young OKC
team, bro. You want to know why the bubble was a facade? Because the Suns won 8 games and didn't make the playoffs, and TJ Warren was MVP of the bubble. Ask me, where's TJ Warren now?
TJ Warren, remember that?
TJ Warren was a man playing out of his mind that year. I'm like, bro, this is practice for him. He probably does this shit in practice. Because, there's always guys at practice that are just practice gods. At practice, these guys are gods, and when it comes to game time, they are no-shows. And that's freaking TJ Warren,
bro. He was kind of I guess qualify as like a Linsanity, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was more than Linsanity was like a couple of weeks. TJ Warren was just the whole season.
Linsanity was crazy though.
No, I mean that's because
that couple weeks it
was New York though. Something like that happens in New York.
Y'all cats were on cloud 9.
When he was getting hyped up,
y'all thought y'all could do whatever you wanted.
Still.
Yeah,
they caught him at the right time.
Yeah, he scored 40, and they were like, "Oh my god, this guy's crazy!" And then he went out and scored 50, and we were like, "Oh, what the hell is
this guy a superstar?" Like, you know what I mean? Like right away.
No, for those 2 weeks, he averaged like 45 a night or something like that. It was insane, dude. It was truly insane. It was fun to watch. It was definitely fun to watch.
Early tidbits.
I was like, "Oh shit, they didn't dismantle our whole team because Melo. That was during the Melo era."
Yeah.
I was like, we have a shining star.
Good time. Speaking of Melo, Mike Beasley said that he would trash Melo. He said he'd whoop his ass too in the
I believe it.
The basketball, the 1v1 that they've got going on. I'd love to see Beasley versus Melo.
I seen a reel of guys being asked who they don't want to play in 1v1, and it was like 12 different dudes who said Mike Beasley. Nobody wants to see.
What was the score of you versus LeBron? He said a lot to a little, like because he beat LeBron in the 1v1.
Yeah, and then there's a story that Mario Chalmers said on I forget whose podcast, but he said one day at practice, LeBron went up to Beasley and said, "Chalmers is defending me today," and Beasley was like, he was looking around like, "Are you playing, nigga? Like I defend you every time I practice. There's nothing's gonna change today. I'm defending you." Practice went to start. Beasley went up and took his defensive position. LeBron held the ball and called for Mario to come over, and everybody was just like watching, dumbfounded. And LeBron did not start practice until Chalmers came and defended him. He did not want no part.
That's y'all king.
That's y'all king. That's y'all
king. He wanted no parts of Beasley.
No way. TJ Warren was balling for the Knicks in the G League. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's closer than you think. Speak his name and he shall appear.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in TJ Warren.
Crazy. Wow. But he's not in the league, though. So.
Your boy is in G League getting
point.
ready, dog. You talked about bench depth. You're going to get it. Bubble MVP himself.
Bubble MVP.
PJ Warren, the seventh man in the New York Knicks.
I'm good. We already had PJ Tucker at the end of the bench showing off his shoes every home game.
Like, he's obsessed. He got all the kicks, bro. Now he's in New York, too. He's going crazy. He's going crazy with the shoes.
I forget whose podcast I was watching. It might have been Cam, the Is What It Is podcast, but they said that PJ Warren was in the game at the end of one of these games, was diving for a ball, and when he got up, he was like, "Yo, nice shoes." Like, this guy's more invested in the crowd sneakers than what's going on in the actual game.
He's locked in. That's that point. We got prime Tucker, and we blew it.
Yeah,
we wasted that. Yeah, because he was giving it his all then, but you know.
Nick's fans on Facebook was screaming for that guy to come up. I couldn't deal with it.
Cowboys wide receiver kick returner Kevontae Turpin has been taking reps at running back during minicamp. Turpin remains an option out of the backfield under Brian Schottenheimer. He saw multiple snaps at running back today and took a carry outside left, Nick Harris wrote.
I'm not saying there won't be a player or two lined up for Turpin, but come on, man.
Come on, man.
Whoever's got him is going to put him on the waiver wire now.
I already dropped him. I dropped him weeks ago. I think I dropped him after the draft, actually. He was one of the cuts that I made for my rookies.
I'm good. I got my stashes. I got my starters. I'm waiting on the news so that I can see what other moves I have to make, potential trade market moves that need to be made, 2026 draft pick acquisitions. I'm looking at all that good stuff. I got Taj Brooks marinating in the taxi squad along with Krosky Merritt, who's going to be a name that you guys are going to be looking out for coming out of the backfield of the Washington Commanders, because outside of, you got B-Rob, you got Eckler, you got Krosky. That's it. That's what's going on out there. And it's only
Chris
a matter
Rodriguez
of time.
Still out there?
Is Rodriguez there? I haven't heard shit about him coming out of training camp at all. I'm hearing about Krosky. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing.
Every other day, Chaz Chisholm is getting hurt. What's up?
Chisholm hurt?
Yeah, he just exited today with we just said.
Rockets had PJ Tucker playing big. Yeah, he was when we were doing the small ball lineup, he was guarding Anthony Davis. Imagine that. So
that's when he cared about basketball though too.
Like I love him. Yeah, he put in the work.
Yeah, no, he had good games.
And he was also like when we played against LeBron, he was the one guarding LeBron. Like PJ Tucker was taking on the hardest assignment every night. Yeah, so I respect what he did for us.
At one point, I thought PJ Tucker was like the new version of Robert Horry, but he just never won championships.
He had that corner shot that was great.
Yeah, that's what he reminded me of him, bro.
He just stood in the corner.
He always came in and got corner threes and got big rebounds for his team.
There was definitely a drop off in his play. I think it happened around the time when he was in Philly, because by the time he was in the Clippers, he was a shell of himself.
Yeah,
like in Philly, he came along with Harden as like the whole package deal when our old GM went over there and did his math ball crap to them and absolutely destroyed that team. But I remember PJ coming along with James Harden, and that's kind of where he faded. Mm-hmm. But he was still getting those corner three balls for the Sixers. Like he was still able to like hit that shot consistently.
Right.
So
good times.
Yeah, fond memories of PJ Tucker. What happened to us? I don't blame him as much as I blame James Harden and Morey eventually, because trading away Capella was the shot heard around the world.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Straight through my heart, where I realized, okay, this team there's things that your team does right over the years, and then you look back and you say to yourself, there's one day where they do something, you say to yourself, oh shit, we're lost in the woods all of a sudden.
That's how I felt when we traded for Melo. I was like, what?
You thought you were gonna have a great day on the beach.
All these guys and picks for Melo, bro.
You thought you were gonna have a great day on the beach. You packed sandwiches.
You weren't a Melo guy?
Mm-mm. Well, it's not so much that I wasn't a Melo guy. I just hated the trade.
Were you more angry when he re-signed?
No, at that point, we were already lost at that point. As an organization, as a team.
Because the original thing was that he was supposed to opt out along with LeBron, along with Wade.
He was the original third.
Along with,
he was the third man.
Right.
That was part of
Bosh was 3B.
And
He wasn't
Bosch
3A.
was the backup plan. The original plan was them 3.
But see, that year in Denver, it was his last year under contract with them. And he said that he wanted to play in New York openly. Like, he wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So why the Knicks went out and made a dumbass trade like that? Beats me.
That was
I don't know.
A doozy, bro. A doozy of a deal.
I mean,
If I'm New York, I'm like, no, I'll wait for the summertime. I'll let him come in the summer. And I don't have to give nothing up. And we'd have kept Gallinari, Raymond Felton, Wilson Chandler, and Melo with that team at the time. We had Tyson Chandler. We had Tyson Chandler, Wilson Chandler, Gallinari, Raymond Felton, along with Melo. We would have had a nasty squad, bro. A nasty squad.
Roy Hibbert.
Oh, my God.
The Pacers.
Hibbert,
Roy Hibbert.
oh, my God.
Paul George.
The Pacers have been a
thorn. I hate Roy Hibbert.
7-2, 0 rebounds, 0 points. And that block on Carmelo Anthony when Carmelo tried to do the 2-hand dunk, that was
watching his hand bend back over the rim.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That year was supposed to be the Heat versus the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Melo versus LeBron. Here we go. We're gonna get the showdown, and we got the Pacers. Just like this year, we get the Pacers again.
It's always the fucking Pacers.
It's always going to be the Pacers until you guys beat them. That's history, bro.
It's always the boogeyman.
It's always going to be the Chiefs for the Bills until the Bills beat them.
Like
There's no way for the Bills to make it without beating the Chiefs.
Like I said a little bit ago, 25 years ago, Knicks lost to the Pacers in the ECF. Yankees went to the World Series against the Mets. We beat them. Giants went to the Super Bowl against the Ravens, and we lost.
Yeah.
So
it's not coming around circle.
Maybe not for the Ravens.
Lamar about to get paid too.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. That is happening. For sure.
Restructure.
Getting the bag. The whole kit and caboodle.
He about to be 65 a year. You watch.
They just paid Bateman a decent amount too.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
That
they trust him. They like him. Lamar likes him too, man. They're buds. They're friends. So
he was kind of outproducing.
That's an inflated salary.
Zay had injury. He had injury problems last year. Zay did, but
Zay needs a real wide receiver too on that team.
I agree because Bateman isn't consistent enough. I think,
and I'm still shocked.
Him is injury history because when he's on the field, Bateman can make shit happen.
Same for Flowers. Flowers is injury prone too, man.
It's just a question of, is Zay Flowers truly a wide receiver one? We don't
No.
Yeah,
to me, he's not.
He's a wide receiver.
He's their wide receiver one at the moment, but he's not a wide receiver one.
Yeah.
I would partner Zay Flowers with like your JSNs of the world, Malik Neighbors, even DK Metcalf with the Steelers. Like that. That would be a good number 2 guys for him. But
I want to see like if Isaiah Likely really takes that step forward.
Some people believe he will, man.
3 years in, it starts to turn into the Kyle Pitts conversation.
Well, the problem is I don't think it's the Kyle Pitts situation.
Yeah.
I just think they keep shoving Mark Andrews down everybody's throat. Yeah. When clearly
they can't pivot off.
Clearly.
Yeah, but there's also
Isaiah has been the better guy in the last year and a half.
He put on a show.
He gets way more separation than Mark Andrews does, for sure. But he does have more drops than Mark Andrews. It's just that Mark Andrews has like the biggest drop that's memorable.
He was one toe from having a spectacular week 1 last year on, I believe, Monday Night Football.
I started him in True Legends last year because he was the only tight end I had, and he gave me 44 points that week.
Does he crack the top 10 this year?
Well, he could.
He can.
I believe he's tight end 1.
Yeah,
and then I think Andrews is going to be the backup.
It should shift that way this year. And honestly, the Baltimore Ravens should think about trading Andrews.
Yeah. Just Likely can do it, man.
I think so, man.
He showed it multiple times.
I like him for fantasy this year, honestly.
I always like
he's a part of the bloodline.
I always am interested in in those lower rounds of the redraft. I'm always looking for him.
Yeah, really good tight ends.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I have a really good first round draft.
What do you want for one of those guys?
Yeah,
Nothing.
Mikey needs a tight end.
Bro. We're here.
You can't start all 3 of them.
Mikey needs a tight end. He can flex.
Cats
got 2 flex spots. He technically can't start all 3 of them. Trust me, bro. Speaking as somebody who hoards tight ends, bro, you can start 3 tight ends.
Yeah, but you have the right tight ends to start every week.
I do.
I still can't believe
you're not starting Laporta and Loveland and Likely every week.
okay. Who knows? My
They're
wide
not.
receiver
There's
squad
no who
isn't the
knows,
greatest
bro.
squad in the world.
That's not Brock Byers and Shea McBride. Honestly.
Tell him, Mike. Tell him.
You let him
Mike's
know.
just trying to say,
I like it.
let's make a deal.
I need a tight end.
That doesn't mean I'm
I just need a
trading
tight end,
Shea McBride
honestly.
to you, though. I can't. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to figure it out elsewhere. Maybe talk to this guy.
But Kenny Allen will hold me down. Okay, he will. As long as he stays healthy, he will hold me down.
I hope he has a great year.
Not against me.
That means
buddy.
Baker Mayfield's bacon again.
Right. That's right.
He'll hold you down against the likes of those who are starting like the Pat Fryermuths of the world and their lineup.
My starting.
I think Pat's gonna have a
lineup
good
is
year this
enough to have a guy like K. Dot.
I really
I'm
do.
fine.
I think Aaron
Anything more
Rodgers
than
is going to
15
utilize
points
Pat.
is a blessing from K. Dot.
From the tight end position, correct. You're right.
And honestly, at the tight end position anyway, it
15
doesn't even
points
matter who it is.
that's
15
gold,
points
buddy.
is great.
That's worth its weight in gold.
Fryermuth's going to have a good year. Rodgers
so?
is going to use him.
The Muth, it will be loose. Maybe.
Aaron Rodgers is going
Who
to use
knows?
him. I can definitely see that.
We'll see.
You're going to treat him like his new Jordy Nelson.
I'll look for Calvin Austin somewhere on the waivers after our drafts, and I'll take my chances with Calvin on the bench spot.
Who's got Calvin in the Dynasty?
Probably nobody.
He might be rostered.
I do.
Do
He
you?
might be rostered.
Yo.
Yeah, you did pick him up. You did pick him up. Remember who told you about Calvin Austin first, like 3 years ago?
I've known about him.
I've been saying Calvin Austin. That's your 2. You guys don't want to make him your 2, and then today they come out and say he's the 2. Like, look at that.
Look at that.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I've only been saying it for
Look
3
at that.
years.
I knew it before the Steelers did.
What's Ted McMillan
Put
doing?
me in the depot. Oh, man.
You had to mention my tight end. Who's your tight end? Who's his tight end?
Fryermuth? He might have Fryermuth,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Kenneth Walker limited in minicamp due to ankle injury. Ricky Pearsall hamstring to be ready for training camp. Cameron Young signs with the Packers. Defensive tackle.
Matt tried to tell me he doesn't need Devon Achane, and I looked at his roster, and he has Kenneth Walker and James Conner starting. I'm like, what? And then you look at his backups. He has DeMarcado and some other chump.
His bench is the shits.
Lackluster.
At the end of the day, his bread and butter is clearly the starting wide receivers.
Right.
And if anything happens to said starting wide receivers on his lineup, he is not a top 8 team, which is what you need to be to get into the playoffs. Which makes his first round pick for next year all the more valuable. So good luck with that, Matthew. Good luck with that, my friend. You got Chase, bro. Chase is amazing. Puka's amazing. You know, Brian Thomas getting hurt today. Might want to check up on that because he's your next best weapon. As a matter of
Yo, Matt,
that is your
today's
next
price
best weapon.
isn't yesterday's price, buddy.
And Kenneth Walker, I'm a Kenneth Walker guy. And
What was
already
it that
you got
Kevin
the news
Costner
coming
said?
out.
We live in a different world now than we did 10 minutes ago.
And
Bro, that's the most interesting the Cleveland Browns have ever been in the 21st century was Draft Day.
That was a great movie, too.
they are.
He was like, I want my picks back, you pancake eating motherfucker.
Apparently,
Yo, he had some great one-liners in that movie,
He did,
bro.
he did.
apparently the Dolphins are interested in Dylan Gabriel.
I read that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
You gotta
That's
think
surprising.
Cleveland is not going into the season with all 5 of these quarterbacks. I was
Right.
talking about this with my uncle and
Kenny Pickett's making the team because they gave up Dorian Thompson.
Shador Sanders.
Flacco's
Flacco's
definitely making the team.
Flacco's week 1.
I
Fire
think
him up.
Shador might
bro.
start, man. I don't know.
And
Shador's
Shador's going to make it.
QB2.
I think Shador might start.
Week 1?
bro. I think so.
I think Kenny Pickett starts week 1.
Shut the hell up.
No, I think Shador surpassed him.
That guy's hands are so small, bro.
I know.
I think Shador surpassed him. Shador's having a great OTA so far. He's doing his thing. I know that only means so much, but it's enough in a quarterback carousel of 5 QBs where you're trying to
It's
figure out
just
what you're gonna
OTAs
do.
right now, but I don't know, man.
Right.
I got a feeling that
They put themselves in a position where you
At the
can't
end
go
of
into
the
the
day,
season
though,
with 5 QBs. Like
If
you
you're a
gotta
Jerry
decide.
Jeudy owner, you need Joe Flacco to play.
Or Shador. Hey,
I
if
was
Shador
gonna say,
starts,
I
I'm
think Shador's
happy.
gonna sling it,
But
bro.
Jerry Judy's just sitting on my bench right now, waiting for this whole thing to
As
get
a Quinton
resolved.
Junkins owner, I don't care who starts. He's going to
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
he's gonna get his. Yeah.
You're gonna see Junkins. You're gonna see Sampson out there. Sampson's gonna get work. You know, like it's
going to be interesting to see what happens once they actually figure out who their starting quarterback is going to be. And that doesn't mean Flacco is the starting quarterback week 16 for these guys, but week 1, week 2, I could see it being the 40-year-old man going out there and just.
That's crazy. Shador surpassed Kenny already.
I'm pretty sure he did. Depth chart might read Flacco, Sanders, Pickett in that order, you know. And then Gabriel.
I think they should trade Gabriel because Gabriel might F around and outperform Pickett too. Honestly,
we don't know shit about Gabriel. We just know that this team picked him when they could have picked Sanders. That's what we looked at when we were sitting there on draft day, saying to ourselves like, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I read that the Dolphins wanted to draft Gabriel, and then the Browns went and drafted him in the round that they did, and the Dolphins traded their pick as soon as the Browns made their pick for Gabriel.
Yeah,
that's how bad they wanted Gabriel.
They got the hell out of it.
They were like, if he's not here, I don't want nobody else. I'm getting out of it.
Not interested.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait.
We'll see how that
is wrapping up. Training camp is around the corner. Mm-hmm. The buzz is only going to keep on buzzing. And, the
chirper's going to keep on chirping.
That's right.
And, we're going to bring everything to the table, discuss it.
Next week this time.
The news
Miami does like Gabriel.
Yes, remember this. Next week this time, the first 2 teams. Next week, a month from now, next week, the 2 teams will be reporting the training camp.
Yeah.
July 18th, you'll have the team that's going to participate in the Hall of Fame game.
July 18th?
I think so.
Jesus.
Or like the week of July 18th.
Why is that so early?
Because the Hall of Fame game's the first weekend of August, or first Thursday of August, I think.
Wait, you just said July 18th?
Yeah. Hold on. Because those teams normally go to training camp a little earlier. Let me see something.
July 18th is for training camps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They like Gabriel, and when you think about it, like, what's their plan if Tua gets hurt again, which he might? Like, they don't have anybody. They need someone who can go out there, and maybe that's one of those weird things. There's like a hand in a glove where it fits perfectly. Maybe that's destination where you should go. We saw the Saints go and get a guy, and a weird, like, similar situation where we really don't know much about the guy. You just know that they don't have many options. They're very thin at the position, which is why we were just scratching our heads watching the draft when the Saints passed up on Sanders, when the Browns passed up on him and went back around and got him. It was just like, all right, we know they're probably trying to teach this kid a lesson, but now it's like getting to the point where it's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
you're costing yourself just to try to prove a point, when in reality you need this as much as teams like my team need it, drafting 1 overall. Teams like your team, like, it's, you're screwing around, bro.
Yep.
Yep,
it's true. It's true.
Oh, shit. The first team to open training camp is July 16, 2025.
Which team is it?
I'm trying to find out who plays opening the preseason game. I'm about to find out right now.
Oh, we got a tied ball game right now, 76-76 with 5 minutes in the third. Sounds like a good matchup going on in the NBA Finals. Something similar to what was going down in Game 1.
Basketball, schmasketball.
Well put. Yeah.
The Lions play the Chargers. Hall of Fame game Thursday, July 31st. Yeah, so you're actually getting a football game July 31st.
That's kind of crazy.
Normally it's August.
Right. It's usually like August, 5th?
Well, they really trying to get our juices amped up. Because then they know in the month of August people are watching, and then they're getting ready for fantasy. So you're sitting there just going,
yeah, August, I'm drafting.
I want to try and
the
see
season starts.
Preseason game.
The season starts for me in August because that's when my drafts start. That's pretty much where
I've officially set the draft for Sick Picks August 23rd at noon.
August 23rd at noon. Sick Picks, 6th annual, right? 6
years.
Fifth year.
Year 5.
5th annual. The 5-year anniversary.
5-year anniversary of the Sick Picks League. So
it's going down,
wait.
baby.
I cannot wait.
The league where I have scored the most points, I have the most wins, and absolutely nothing to show for it because my team are the Dallas Cowboys of that league.
Well,
First round exit.
It's my league. I've been running it for the last 5 years, and again, I'm the guy who has nothing to show for it. So I feel like I've constructed the best team ever constructed in that league.
Monstrous stat lines were put up.
Oh, money quit.
Some of the best
Money quit.
teams.
He's no longer part of the Sick Picks League.
The high scoring teams in Sick Picks
I
never
took my
win it,
ball
though,
and went home.
Yeah, you retired.
In 3 weeks, though, our podcast in 3 weeks. On the Money Sports draft order.
I want to know when the draft order for this league is going to be. I want to know when the Elite 8 draft order
is going
to be.
We're going to do the Elite 8 the same day.
We'll take like an hour
and
break.
If I'm going to be here,
right?
we're going to do Sick Picks.
We'll take an hour break. We eat, right? We chill.
I got to figure out when we're going to do the draft for that. I like how
for Elite 8?
Yeah. It's going to be online. If we all want to meet up, we can.
I figured it'll be online. We can still hang out wherever we can meet up. I'd be down for that. I don't mind the online. We got enough live drafts that we got to book in the next couple months. So
you were drafting in Phillies Stadium.
I was at the Phillies game watching you guys lose to the Diamondbacks.
I was on the kitchen table eating. I started at Applebee's for endless boneless wings.
Drafted Christian McCaffrey in the second
Then
round.
I came home, and then we just kept. I made Crystal drive home so that I could just draft.
That's fun.
Those rosters were so loaded.
That's why they even in leagues, bro. Yeah,
that's what I love about it. 8 teams, 3 quarterbacks.
The value is always going to be on the waiver wire. It just makes you make tough decisions as far as who your ads and drops are going to be. There's always going to be somebody.
I picked up JSN on the waiver wire. I dropped Calvin Ridley on the waiver wire.
There's always going to be somebody there. It's just a matter of with your bench spots, how do you want to play?
I kept holding on to Nico Collins and
the way that your team is built.
I thought
you had Nico.
Yeah, I had Nico.
Who did AJ Brown I kept holding on to.
Yeah.
Because he kept getting hurt because I had the combination of AJ to Jalen.
Yeah, I had a bunch of guys on IR and Elite 8. I still had a great team, and I had
the Stafford, the Puka.
Yeah, that was good.
Another good one.
I had the Mark Andrews, the Lamar stack. I had like 3 stacks. I had the I think I had Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison stack. That stack either killed me or
if your stacks didn't play good that week, you sucked.
That was a stack. That was a stack that really was my demise at the end of the year.
Raven stack?
No, the
Houston.
Who the hell is that?
Harrison.
Murray Harrison.
Yeah, that stack. Because Lamar was QB1 all year. Lamar wasn't.
Is that Bull Buchanan?
But I know that you had heavy stock in the Ravens stack this past year. Like
I had Lamar. I had Lamar at a lot of places, but I had Lamar paired with either Mark Andrews or Zay Flowers in certain leagues. So yeah, the Ravens stack. Lamar helped me big time. It was just the guys I stacked him with. Those guys just didn't. They underperformed.
Yeah.
Until Mark didn't, and then dropped the ball. And then Zay Flowers was just hurt.
I mean, shit. Tua Hill was the best stack in 2023, and we saw last year how that shit played out. Mm-hmm. That was just for everybody who invested in it. That shit fizzled out quicker than it did the year prior, week 15 of the freaking playoffs.
What's your birthday weekend?
That's my birthday weekend. Is he talking about draft? He's only got something going on when he's sick.
I know. Yeah, don't do this to me. What's your birthday weekend?
There ain't no hot tag this year.
Yeah, but don't. What are we doing, Chris?
You don't have to.
There's no
Stay
hot
in the
tag.
country, damn it.
Maybe we'll get Drew to draft for him.
Shut the hell up.
We'll get Drew. Drew will make the picks for Chris, and then they can kind of co-opt this thing, and then that could be Drew's introduction into fantasy football, bro.
Drew will find a way to draft Jason Kelsey.
Oh. Why don't we have offensive linemen in here, guys?
Sick picks draft.
Start a whole new conversation.
Dude, you better be in town, you mother. It's a live draft, Chris. I'm not calling you on a tablet.
Chris, don't do this. Don't do this.
I don't have nobody to take your spot. I might be able to convince Noli, but that's about it.
Might have a guy, but we want it to be you, bro.
I'll be there, just gonna be drunk. That's fine. That's okay. Draft drunk. We like draft drunkers.
I'll get drunk with you, buddy. Just be there.
Yeah, I'll drink with you too. If that day is you're saying that's
Let's do it.
I know you're saying that's your birthday weekend, but what's your actual birthday?
Lock it in. We're getting drunk. Sick Picks draft, August 23rd.
August 23rd, noon. Be there.
Saturday,
be square.
Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
When is it?
Okay.
August 23rd. You
All
might as well come
I got
over, man.
no-
If you ain't doing shit, just come over.
I got no.
You're looking
other
for,
draft.
a contact or whatever.
I got no other draft that day, so all right. That's good to me. Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to me too.
Word. Yeah, we're getting. It's that
21st
time of
is
year,
your
man.
birthday. Okay, that's dope.
It's that time of year.
Fire. Yeah, man. I'll have the Japanese whiskey there.
That is-
It's all right.
Best friends. Look at them.
It's all right.
Best friends. My boys barking at practice at the defense. I'm loving it, bro. Oh, let's go. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Well, I think we pretty much covered all the bases on tonight's pod.
Yeah, man.
Not
yeah,
much
man.
else to really discuss.
We're going to
Good
get spicier
conversation.
throughout the summer, man.
Good
Stay
feedback.
tuned in.
Thank you for everybody who's been tuning in more often the last couple of weeks. We greatly appreciate
Greatly
it.
appreciate it.
We're
Love you
noticing it.
guys.
We're appreciating it. Thank you guys. We know you could be doing anything else in the world.
That's right.
If you are, sports fans, we know you are probably, watching the game right now, but just having us on in the background on your phone or whatever the case is, it means a lot to us to be able to share Wednesday nights with you, to be able to do what we do. We're getting closer to one of the, I'd say the heart and soul of what this podcast originated from as we get into training camp and we gear into August and we start giving you our predictions for the divisions and all that good stuff. I'm super excited about all that, getting into the second half of the baseball season, all that stuff just coming together like the perfect storm, being able to break all that down, hit you with our official predictions, lock some picks in on DraftKings so that we can double down, put our money where our mouth is. And
Sheesh.
just get more.
I'm looking at this calendar now. The first weekend of September is the season starting.
Yeah.
So every week of
leading up.
August is going to be a division breakdown.
Yeah, it has
All
to be.
4 weeks.
It has to be. Oh, if
And
anything,
then-
we might have to start early because we have our playoff episode too.
September 3rd, the day
Playoff
before.
prediction. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday. Okay, yeah. That would be the playoff predictions.
5
episode.
weeks straight. The content is already lined up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
try.
already
And,
booked.
I don't want to. I want to try and be here this year because I wasn't here last year for the division stuff or the playoff episode, honestly. So at the very least, I'm gonna be here for the playoff episode this year. But I
Hell
will
yeah,
try
bro.
and be here for the division ones.
Hell yeah.
And then I want to be here for the drawings too.
It's
So.
going to be glorious.
July 2nd, I think you said.
You got
right?
to.
Yup.
You got to,
So
bro.
make sure you tell Noli July 3rd you need an easy.
I need a local.
You need a local run.
It could be hard. I don't even care if it's a full strip. I just need to be in Bridgeton. That's it.
You got to be in the Bristol apartments, dog. Not up there north.
Next week.
Piscataway.
Now farthest north. we've gone is
Palmyra.
Irvington. I'm going to Irvington. That was a drive.
Well, till next week, folks. More news to come.
Thank you as always, man. Appreciate you guys. Tune in next week.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good week, guys. See you next week.